is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are the Lions.
It's the last homestand of the season. One final chance to cheer the boys of summer. And perhaps an opportunity to see the Tribe clinch their first division title at home in nearly a decade. First up, a showdown against the second-place Tigers, a team the Indians have dominated all season long. 12 games, 11 wins, 3 series sweeps, and a 3-0 record against Justin Verlander. Detroit rookie Michael Fulmer will get the first assignment for the Tigers against the stoic Corey Kluber, who continues to make his case for a second Cy Young Award in 3 seasons. As the year grows old, the days begin to shorten, and time is now of the essence. October beckons. This Central Division showdown is about to begin. The last homestand of the year, and it just might be the biggest for Corey Kluber and the Cleveland Indians. A sellout crowd expected tonight here at Progressive Field. Many of the fans will be rocking the red as the Indians play host to the Detroit Tigers, who are in hot pursuit of the Indians in the American League Central Division standings. Hi again, everyone. Detroit just 6 games back of Cleveland in the standings. And Rick, you go back to spring training. Terry Francona was tinkering with the idea of leading off Carlos Santana. It took him 14 games until he finally pulled the trigger. It was April 22nd. It was in Detroit, and the Indians have never looked back since.
And it was a 3-2 pitch, and Santana got it off. Justin Verlander hit a home run on his first time ever hitting leadoff, and it's taken off from that point on, and so have the Indians. They won the first 11 games. Who could ever forget this game ending on a double play that Rajai Davis caught? It was total confusion out of the field. It turns into be a double play. The Indians win that ball game, and it hasn't stopped. They have just dominated. They won the first 11 games. Mike Napoli hit a long ball, and for whatever reason, the Cleveland Indians have really turned it around against the Tigers. 11-1 this year. Detroit won the last game, but when you look at the numbers, you can see why. They have dominated, outscored 79-36, but the starters ERA is the 2.57 to the 8.84, and they have led in. They've gotten the early lead, and they've led in just about every single ball game of this series.
Imagine, we've played Detroit 12 times this year. The Indians still haven't seen their closer, Francisco Rodriguez.
Incredible.
All right, Corey Kluber will start tonight for Cleveland. 2 years ago, when he won the Cy Young Award, he won his last 5 starts of the season. If he does that again this year, he'll get to 20 wins.
Well, he's been on some kind of roll. He's 8-1 over his last 12 starts, and he has been dominating. He's had every pitch under control. The slider, the cutter, the changeup, his 2-seam fastball. He's been working very well. He's beaten Detroit twice this year, but he's going to face a young rookie that's had a pretty darn good year himself. He's 1-1 against the Indians. The Tigers are 1-4 in his last 4 starts. Fulmer, he's lost his last 3, so they haven't scored him a lot of runs, but this is a good young pitcher with a good slider, a good changeup, and a good fastball. And I'll tell you what, you couldn't ask for anything else. I think both these teams are looking forward to this series so they don't have to scoreboard watch.
With the Indians up 6 and only 7 games left to go head-to-head, Detroit's almost in a must-win situation. We'll see how the Indians and the Tigers respond coming up here tonight. We'll be back with the first pitch. Plus, we'll check in with Andre Knott when we come back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
starts tonight at Progressive Field. First pitch coming your way shortly. Welcome into our Sports Time Ohio studio here in downtown Cleveland. I'm Ashley Collins. A couple of games that we'll be tracking for you tonight. AL East, the leading Red Sox will be taking on the Yankees at Fenway. Yankees 5 back in the division and 3 out of that second AL wildcard spot. Also in action, Baltimore taking on Tampa Bay. The Orioles 2 back in the AL East. We'll track those and a couple of others for you. Now we'll send it back out to Matt and Rick at Progressive Field.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Crowd still making its way in, and a lot of folks are jammed up at the gates trying to get their way into the ballpark in time for tonight's first pitch between Cleveland and Detroit. Now, this is a big series. There's no reason to try to downplay it. Detroit knows that for them to have any shot of A, winning the division, or really B, Rick, staying in the wild card race because they're 2 games back, they have to find a way to beat the Indians, something they have not been able to do all season long. For Cleveland, the mission is simple: beat Detroit and pretty much seal the Central Division.
Yeah, you can knock them out, the magic number 11 for the Indians, but if you're Detroit, you really have to win it.
Well, let's go down to Andre Knott, where I understand Miguel Cabrera had a message for his teammates, the same message most parents have for their own children.
Yes, we'll get to that. Miguel Cabrera's hitting .205 versus the Indians in 12 games, his lowest mark against any team in the AL Central. He didn't read that on Twitter or in the newspaper because his message to his teammates was real simple. He said, stay positive, Detroit. But he also told his teammates this: a cell phone, tweets, pictures on Instagram. They're bad for him right now. So I think what I'm going to do is tell everybody in Cleveland to stay positive. Miguel Cabrera thinks they're out of it. This should be a fun series. Indians plan on going inside on Cabrera all night long to keep him at bay as long as they possibly can.
All right, something to keep an eye on tonight as Corey Kluber takes his warm-up throws on the mound for the Indians. The starting lineup for Detroit for manager Brad Ausmus. It's brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Ian Kinsler will lead it off. Cameron Maben batting second. Miguel Cabrera with 33 homers, 91 driven in, batting third. Victor Martinez will hit cleanup. JD Martinez batting fifth. Justin Upton, who's been on a surge of late, will bat sixth. Eric Ibar, James McCann, and Andrew Romine rounded out.
Our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher Corey Kluber making start number 30 this year. And in his first 29 starts, he has 21 quality starts. He's pitched very well. He's 2-0 against the Tigers this year. And in the Central, in his 10 games started, he's 7-2 with an ERA of under 2. So looking for good things. We're going to see if the Indians can continue to pitch the middle part of that lineup very tough like they have all year. We will find out tonight. Set the defense for the Indians, brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Coco Crisp in left field. Naquin is in center. Almonte over in right. Ramirez at third. Lindor at short. Kipnis is at second. Napoli at first. Perez doing the catching.
Tim Timmons has the plate tonight. Mike Everett, the crew chief, at first. Jordan Baker at second. Pat Hoberg down at third. Ian Kinsler going to lead it off. And Brad Ausmus. In many ways, Brad Ausmus may have done his best managing job yet at the helm of Detroit, because a lot of folks wrote the Tigers off at one point earlier in the year. They got off to a kind of a sluggish start, and then they really bottomed out. But you know, he brought this team together and kept them playing hard, and for that you have to give a manager credit. Obviously, it's the players between the lines, as Kluber's first pitch is up high, ball one.
Kinsler, a good fastball hitter on that first pitch. He searches it, seeks it. That one was up and in.
And that one a little bit outside. 2-0. Outside again. It's right down the heart of the plate.
Well, you don't want to throw another one there. 3-1. Kinsler, a guy 26 homers on the year, 78 RBIs. Very good for a leadoff man. And again, one of the top second basemen in the league.
Popped him up. Foul. And this will find its way into the seats. Full count.
Kluber 8-5 at home this year in his 14 starts. He's won 7 of his last 8 on his home turf.
And the right-hander's payoff pitch to Kinsler. Swung on and missed. That was a fastball low and away. And it looked like Kinsler chased a ball that had some movement to it.
Looked like a little two-seam fastball away. It's one of those comeback fastballs that locks up the left-handers. But this one was a little dart down. And you can see it was a two-seamer. And he got Kinsler to chase. That looked like it would have been ball 4, but it was too close to take. Gets the swing and a miss and strikeout number 1.
That'll bring up Cameron Maybin. Cameron Maybin having a good year offensively, batting .318. Injuries have limited him to 80 games played. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. He didn't make his season debut until May 16th.
Right, he was hurt from spring training, and then got a late start and then re-injured himself.
The 0-2 just missed outside. And whether or not Kluber has a little extra adrenaline or not tonight, that pitch hit 94 miles an hour. Got him looking. I mean, after he took the last pitch, he had to know that one was going to get called. And Corey Kluber has struck out the first 2 to start the game.
Take a look at it on our Nissan pitch trackers. Is this the comebacker again? It certainly is. Right on the outside edge. You know, sometimes right-handers give up on it, but it's the left-handers that it really does. It's almost like he starts it at the front hip to the left-handers, but he has a good two-seamer early in this ball game.
And here is Miguel Cabrera. His numbers against the Indians well documented. His numbers against Corey Kluber in particular are almost unbelievable. 21 for 42.
Well, they are unbelievable when you look at Kluber has a 208 average to right-handed hitters. This guy is just in a different world, but they've been able to take care of him this year. They've done a good job.
Five of those 21 hits have left the yard, as you see. To center field. Naquin is there. The Tigers go 1-2-3. The crowd roars its approval. The Indians are coming to bat. Icona brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana, the DH, will lead it off. Jason Kipnis batting second. Francisco Lindor, one of the league's top hitters, batting third. Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Coco Crisp bat in the middle part of the lineup. Then Tyler Naquin, Abraham Almonte, and Roberto Perez rounded out.
And tonight's Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Michael Fulmer, who's had a terrific rookie year for the Tigers. He's getting, to the end of his rope when it comes to innings. He's already pitched between 20 and 25% more innings than he has in the past, but what a year it's been. He started twice as many games on the road than he has at home, and he's 8-4 with a .268 on the road.
Santana taking low and away, ball one. Carlos led off for the first time against Verlander April 22nd. Hit a home run to start that game. Drives this one pretty well to deep center. Mabry back at the wall, and he makes the catch, hanging on for out number one.
Pretty good swing on that ball. Hit it to deep center field. They've been making a nice play. He knew he had to go back, and he was watching the wall. Then he took that last peek, and he knew he had a little bit of room and makes the catch for out number one with a good leadoff at bat for the Indians.
Now that's going to bring up Jason Kipnis. .22 homers, 77 driven in on the year. In his career, Kip's never really had a ton of success against the Tigers, .243 career average. But this year, he's batted .341 against Detroit. Fulmer hits the outside corner to even the count at 1-1. You'll probably find that's the case with a lot of the Indians hitters this year, explaining their success against Detroit.
Yeah, when you've outscored them 79-36, things are going your way, and they've played. They've always scored a lot of early runs, first inning runs, and things like that.
Hit him in the box, so even though it rolled into fair territory, a foul ball. 2-2. Michael Fulmer. Boy, where would the Tigers be without him?
Well, this is a young man that really, when Justin Verlander was struggling early in the year, he held it together for that rotation.
Kipnis slams one into center, and the Indians have their first hit. A one-out single here in the first.
Let's set the defense now for the Tigers. They are the #1 rated defense in the league. They've made only 65 errors. They have the best percentage going right now, and here it looks like this. Upton is in left, Maben in center, J.D. Martinez over in right. Romine gets the start at third. Ibar is at short, Kinsler at second, Cabrera is at first, McCann doing the catching.
Francisco Lindor. Takes pitch, just nicked the outside corner for a strike. Lindor 5th in the American League in batting average, hitting .313. Kipnis, 12 out of 15 he has stolen on the year. Will he test McCann early?
The Indians haven't done a lot of stealing against the Tigers. They've done their share of hitting and scoring early. They haven't had to run a lot against them.
Up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Been a lot of fastballs so far. early in this game for Fulmer. He's got a very nice slider, goes straight down, little change up. He'll throw a two-seamer as well. He's maybe just a little bit quicker than average delivering the ball to home plate as well.
Broken bat, base hit right field. That'll get down. Kipnis on his way to third. First and third, one out here in the first.
Nice job. It sounded like it cracked the bat of Lindor, and this might have been a little cutter coming in. Let's take a look at it. It was 93, and he wanted it up a little more. McCann did. It was down. It got to the trademark. It broke the bat, but it did the right thing, man. Kipnis able to go all the way to third base. So a little first and third action, and the Indians threatening to score early again. Back-to-back singles.
Mike Napoli will get the first RBI chance of the night. He's driven in a team leading 94 on the year. He's tied for 10th in the American League in runs batted in. And that pitch is called a strike. Napoli he's been a little bit at odds with the umpires here of late.
Take a look at the Indiana Wesleyan University pitch track. Right on the outside edge. Yeah, you know what? It happens. At times you get, when you're a home run hitter, it can be all or nothing, and you may not be picking the ball up as well as you once did.
Lindor, great jump, no throw, and a steal for Frankie, his 18th. Now there are two in scoring position, but Napoli is in an 0-2 hole.
They weren't worried as much, but he had a tremendous jump. Look at that. Head down, he peeks back, he realizes he didn't swing at it, and there you go. Steals the base. Now a base hit could score two. Napoli's going to have to battle on. Do you think you would start seeing some of that, either the high fastball here, or you'll see a good slider going down?
In the dirt, nicely blocked by McCann. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We see this a lot with Napoli, where he falls behind early in the count. He seems to work his way back into it. Pitchers try to get him to chase or chase the one upstairs. But right now, he's just ground ball would do it.
A little bit outside.
Look at him shaking his head up in that box. That's outside. Well, I'll tell you what, it wasn't far outside. It was close. They wanted it up, little off the plate. Pretty good pitch, but it was off the plate by about a ball width.
The 2-2. High fastball. High in the air to left. Not deep enough to get out of here. But never lost the ball. It bounces on the track and somehow went over the wall. The Indians will score 2. It's a ground rule double for Napoli on a bizarre start to the game. Justin Upton, I thought he was trying to deke the runners. He truly never saw the ball.
Yeah, were you looking at him?
Yeah.
Because that's why we felt it wasn't that deep.
Yeah.
He was standing there, and now it's, I mean, this is only 7:30 at night.
And there's a lot of cloud cover too, Art.
Yeah, there really is. Look at him. He's got to let people know he doesn't see it instead of just standing there and look. You see how far it hit behind him, and it ricochets into the seats for a ground rule double. It should have been 1 run, but there's a gift, and the Indians will certainly take it. But you know what? It's not his fault. If you can't see it, you can't catch it.
I mean, that's like a gag out of an old-time movie, because Upton never saw the ball, and by the time he turned around, it had already bounced onto the track and cleared the wall. So he turned back around as if to say, now wait a minute, I still haven't found the ball.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, the infielders will be pointing now. We'll give Napoli 2 more ribbies. That's 95 and 96 for him. And again, the Indians score in the first inning against Detroit. That's a bad feeling when you're an outfielder, though, man. I feel for him because if you don't see it, but you have to let your other fielders know it. I don't see it.
I feel great. Here's Jose Ramirez. And it's down at his feet. He dances out of the way. Not much. You can't catch what you can't see. The 1-0. And Ramirez fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, what's that? What it's like for a pitcher is that you give him an extra out. It's like an error, although it's not an error because you couldn't see it. He's going to have to work a little harder now. Instead of having 2 outs and 1 run in, there's 2 runs in and 1 out, and they have a chance to keep it going. Umpire giving Ramirez a little extra time. He fouled it off his foot.
Now the 1-1. Pulls it foul. Fulmer, 18 pitches, 11 of them strikes. Gave up solid hit to Kipnis, broken bat single to Lindor, and then the 2-run double to Napoli on a fly ball that by all rights should have been caught. But Upton never saw the ball. And the Indians taking advantage, jumping on the first big break in the game. And so often that's the case in a big game. You've got to take advantage of opportunities. Check, did he go? They appeal. He did not.
Well, look at him. He's locked in. He's shaking his head too. And you look at it at the side, and it was a good call. He wanted to. That's taking him off that slider down in the zone, that high fastball.
High pop. And out goes Kinsler. Gives way to Martinez, JD Martinez. And that's out number 2. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Miggy is the marked man. Anytime you play the Tigers, you better beware of him and the opportunities that he can present. And hey, usually when you play the Tigers, you're not going to win a lot of 2-1 games, so you better score. Though they did win the season opener series-wise 2-1 against Detroit.
Anytime you play the Tigers, you figure I got to score 5 runs, you know, because you can't expect your pitching to be perfect. They've got a potent offense. They can strike at any time.
Coco Crisp grounds it on the dirt to Ian Kinsler, and the side is retired. A wild first inning. Mike Napoli sends a high drive to left. Upton never saw it. The Indians score 2. 2-0 Cleveland. Just inside that foul pole was where the action happened in the first inning for Cleveland. And now in the second, it'll be Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, and Justin Upton due up for the Tigers. Victor Martinez, switch hitter, and the DH swings at the first pitch and fouls it off.
Well, these Tigers know Kluber, and they know they can get aggressive off him because he's going to be around the plate. That's why you may see quite a few first pitch swings here.
Meanwhile, Victor Martinez at 37 years old, but old man River just keeps rolling along.
It's like a fine wine, isn't it? You can hit.
Easy ground out, though, to start the second for Corey Kluber. Our great clip of the game. Let's go back to May 4th when Corey Kluber authored a complete game shutout against these Detroit Tigers. He gave up 5 hits. He struck out 7. He walked only 2. The Indians scored 4 runs. And what does that mean? They usually win.
Yeah, you get Kluber 4 runs.
Was it 44 in a row now?
44 in a row. Yeah, it's
another halfway there tonight. Oh, it's now 45, Murph says. We missed one somewhere.
I can't count that high. This is a guy that they missed when he hurt himself going after a ball in Kansas City and hurt his right arm. He was out of the lineup, and boy, that's a big bat to miss.
Ground ball, weakly hit to short. Lindor takes care of it. 2 down.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcast, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
You know, it's hard to believe, Arch, but before this year, Kluber was just 2-6
yes.
in his career against the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers had his number.
Justin Upton takes a strike.
A game of adjustments when you have to face this team. You know, you may start against them 5 times in a year. When you're playing them in your division, you have to make adjustments.
And a good fastball. He's got a good one tonight.
He's had a good one for quite some time.
I mean, it's just got a little bit of late movement to it, and you can tell the hitters are late reacting to it.
You know, ever since that one start in Toronto where he lost the ball game, boy, he has been lights out.
Hit pretty well deep right center, and that's going to leave the yard in a hurry.
Well, this guy's been locked in himself.
On an 0-2 pitch, Justin Upton with home run number 23.
Well, he says, okay, I missed that fly ball. I gave you a run. Well, here's one swing. I'm going to get one back. That was a pretty good swing on an 0-2 pitch, and it was a line drive out of here. Look at that ball. That was down the middle, though. Kluber made a mistake.
Well, he retired 5 in a row and had Upton down 0-2, and it just shows you how quickly things can change. And now a line drive single to center by Eric Ibar. Ibar came over in an August trade from Atlanta. He sent Mike Aviles to the Braves.
Number 34, catcher James McCann.
So a 2-out base runner now for catcher James McCann. McCann batting 8th, has 11 homers, 44 driven in. He takes outside ball 1. missed a little low with it.
McCann, also a guy that started the year out on the DL. You remember Saltalamacchia was getting all the playing time early, and he finally came back into that lineup. Got off to a slow start, but he's up to 225 now. It may not seem like a lot, but he was under 200 for a good portion of the year.
He's showing a good eye and patience here. It's 3-0. And he walked him on 4 straight. So now the Tigers have 2 on with 2 out, and Andrew Romine will be the batter. All of this happening after Kluber had recorded the first 2 outs quickly on ground ball outs from Victor and J.D. Martinez, and then on 2 pitches he had Upton in the hole 0-2. But then Upton hit the homer, Ibar singled, and now McCann walks, and the Tigers still threatening here, down a run in the second. Another big reason as to why Cleveland has dominated against the Tigers for the most part this year is that when the Tigers have had scoring chances, they have not been able to come through. In the 11 losses to the Indians, they're batting .164 as a team with runners in scoring position.
Well, Kluber hasn't been able to throw a strike since he's been in the stretch.
And Kipnis flags it down. Napoli gets back to the bag. Great teamwork there. Kip had to take sort of a circuitous route to get to the ball, and then Napoli had to circle back to get to the bag, but it all worked out in the end. And now Tyler Naquin will lead off the home half of the second when we come back. Let's go back and take another look at this. Just the weird timing of this play, because Napoli, the ball was so weakly and slowly hit. Nap thought maybe I should go for it, and then he sees Kipnis flag it down, and he had to double back to get to the bag in time.
Got back there in time, though. He realized he couldn't get there.
Tyler Naquin takes a called strike.
I think that's what Napoli's talking about right now.
Jammed him, floats it to center. It'll drop for a hit. And the Tribe gets their leadoff man aboard here in the second. injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. You see for the Tigers, Nick Castellanos, he has a fractured left hand. For Yan Gomes, I mean, just awful news. He's all set to come back and be activated in time for tonight's series, and he got hit by a pitch and a fracture, I guess it is, in the right wrist, so his season comes to an end. Let's go down to Andre.
Injury is a non-displaced fracture in the right wrist. He's going to see a specialist tonight to figure out the course of action of when to get him back. Well, we won't see him this year, but it has been a snake bit season for Yan Gomes, and I know it's been tough. Got a big cast over it tonight. Just a tough season for him at the end of the day.
Did you have a chance to talk to him, Andre?
Just quickly. I mean, his spirits were okay because he's happy for the team, but he's frustrated because he wants to be a part of this more than anything else.
It's been just a terrible year for him overall.
And to be this close.
I know it, yeah. He's worked hard all year to get back from injury, and the sad thing is now he will not have a chance this year.
Abraham Almonte with the leadoff man aboard. Indians up 2-1 here in the second. Naquin 5 steals in 8 tries.
The Indians on the year against the Tigers, they've only stolen 3 bases. They're 3 out of 6, and that includes Lindor's tonight. So they haven't ran a lot. As I said, they've been hitting the ball so well against him.
Now Monte 0 for his last 8, and coming off a road trip in which he was 3 for 18 at the dish. There's a close pitch that goes Almonte's way, and the count tips in his favor now, 2-1. Michael Fulmer from Edmond, Oklahoma. He was a former first-round pick, supplemental first-round pick of the Mets. And of the Tigers with a Yoenis Cespedes deal. That was at last year's trading deadline. Well, and again, it's one of those stories. Mets had a surplus of pitching. They were looking for offense, but the minute you trade from the surplus, it becomes.
Well, yeah. Well, and then the Mets needed a bat, and of course Cespedes went over and got them to the promised land last year, and he's carrying them again right now. But Detroit may have a good young pitcher for a long time, so maybe it's a win-win.
Almonte shoots it into left field.
Nice swing.
Upton waits back on it. Naquin stops at second, and the Indians have their first 2 aboard to start the second.
Well, it's a 3-1 pitch, and he tries to throw a changeup, and it looked like it was elevated because it made it easy for Almonte to take it to left field. You see, it is a changeup, but it stayed upstairs. That's a pitch. It's so easy to go the other way when it's elevated. He had plenty of time to look at it, so it's back-to-back singles here to start the second inning.
Back down to Andre Knott. Obviously, with the injury news to Yan Gomes, it's Roberto Perez now for the rest of the year, pretty much.
It is, and he's feeling better about himself. We all know he was rushed back because of Yan Gomes' original injury. And I know you can look up at that board right now, and the batting average says 176, 2 home runs, 13 RBI. But over the last 16 games, he's hitting .311 with 1 home run and 8 RBI. Also, with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .303. And he told me he finally feels like he's done with spring training. And he feels normal, even though we may see him bunt here. It's nice to know that that's what's going on.
Well, I hope he's going to bunt here. You just get the job done. That's really what you have to do.
Foul ball. Or no, it's a fair ball, and the catcher McCann didn't pull the trigger on the throw to third, so the sacrifice is executed by Perez.
You know what? It almost looked either he didn't have a grip on it. It looked like his intention was to go to third base. I didn't see where Romine was because it didn't get out. You see, he's staying right at the bag, and there's the ball coming out. He had plenty of time.
Romine wasn't looking, though. He had his back turned.
And you know what? Then McCann wasn't going to throw it when he wasn't looking.
Watch Romine turn his back.
Okay.
And I think because of that, McCann's like, I can't throw it to a guy that's not looking.
He's looking up, and he says, nope, he didn't get there in time, so he says, I got to get an out. He wanted to go to third base. And you know, the funny thing, Romine was not that far off the bag, but it works out for the Indians.
Now Carlos Santana. Downstairs, ball one.
And job well done. Sacrifice.
Romine, of course, playing because of the injury we just showed you on the graphic a moment ago to Nick Castellanos with that fracture in his hand. Time called by McCann. And he wants to go out and talk. With the injury to Castellanos, and of course Jose Iglesias had a hamstring injury this year. That's a big reason why the Tigers went out, and it was a non-waiver trade that they executed with Atlanta to get Eric Ibar, who we saw for years in Atlanta. In Los Angeles with the Angels, and he was terrific because he can, provide some defense at third, at short, second.
Well, he knows the league as well. It's no stranger.
Santana trying to at least get him home from third with one out. He'd love to do more than that. He almost drove one out of here his first time up. Sent Maben to the wall in center.
Now, right now, you don't get greedy. You just get the runner in from third. A ground ball would do that up the middle, even at first base. You don't want to try and hit a 3-run homer and be a hero. Just get that one run where the Tigers put it on. They answered the Indians 2-run first. So you come back and answer the Tigers, and that's a job well done. You get that momentum back. The response innings.
Up and away, 2 balls and a strike.
Don't know if they're going to try and pitch Santana any differently with first base open. They may not want to give in, but you got a tough hitter on deck. That's a pretty good clutch hitter for the Indians.
Again, he calls the inside strike, a pitch Santana just gave up on.
Yeah, he lifted the hands
too.
He must have been looking away for something. Watch him lift the hands up, unless this ball has a lot of comeback to it. That's a good pitch. Good pitch in there, especially with a 2-1 count. Santana obviously looking away.
Down and in with the off-speed pitch, and the count is full. Well, the Indians are making Fulmer work early here. 35 pitches. We're only in the second. And a lot of high stress pitches because after one out in the first, the Indians had 3 straight reach. First 2 are bored to start here in the second, and still only 1 out. Jason Kipnis waiting on deck. The payoff pitch. Chopper in the hole. Scoring is Naquin. Here comes Almonte. A 2-run single for Santana. Ball gets away. Carlos goes to second.
Well, there's your response. He got the ground ball, but it got through. It was a CNI base hit. It scores 2. That was a high hopper. Cabrera couldn't do anything, nor could Kinsler. On the 3-2 pitch, it was a ball I think they wanted in. It leaked out over the plate. Santana tops it. Cabrera couldn't get it. Neither could Kinsler, and 2 more come in, and what a response. 4-1 ball game.
And now Jason Kipnis to the plate.
It's already 6 hits for the Indians.
Almost hit him, spun him out of the way.
What is it with this ballpark, the way they score, the way they hit here? We go out on the road and it's like a different team. They come home and they just seem to kick right in. Everybody almost to the man Seems like they hit better in this ballpark than they do on the road.
And it's been that way all year.
I know it. It's hard to figure out.
High pop left. Back is Upton. This one he sees and catches it for the out. On his way to third is Santana, and he's in there safely. But now there are 2 down. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. The Indians' home road split. Look at the 47-25 record. The batting average clearly better. Runs per game, almost 2 more a game
difference
at home.
You know, you don't worry about the home runs as much, but you can see the 284 with runners in scoring position, the 235, and the big difference in batting average and base runners. So it really is a huge difference. And I don't know, they just feel it here, and it seems like they have all year. But they've had some good mojo working in this ballpark, and let it continue, because you know what? They got Kluber's 4 runs. They're in the 2nd inning.
And now Francisco Lindor. Base hit his first time up, takes the ball down and in. Lindor broke his bat and singled to right field in the first. That sent Kipnis all the way to third. And then Napoli followed with the hit that would drive in the game's first 2 runs.
Another thing, Matty, that these guys have done this year here is they've been able to hit with 2 strikes. 3 of their 4 hits tonight have come with 2 strikes.
2 strikes, 2 outs.
Yeah.
Runners in scoring position. They've hit everything at home.
Yeah. When they had that one streak, I forget how many hits they had with 2 strikes in that homestand. It was unbelievable.
This is the league's best hitter at home. Francisco Lindor, 373 on the year. And oh, by the way, Jose Ramirez, his teammate, is 4th. Not surprisingly, they're both among the top 10 in the batting title race, though I don't know how much of a race it is. Jose Altuve ran away and hid from everyone. Dustin Pedroia is trying to make a race of it, but he's still 12 points behind him. Fulmer's 1-2 pitch. Chased it up high, ends the inning. The Indians, though, scored 2 more. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. They lead it 4-1. The red tonight, and the Indians are rocking the baseball with 4 runs in the first 2 frames against Michael Fulmer. They lead it 4-1 as we go to the 3rd, and Ian Kinsler going to lead it off against Corey Kluber. Well, Matt Underwood, Rick Manning here. We're joined in the booth now by Dave Burba, former Indians pitcher, on hand for a little alumni fun this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Enjoying yourself?
I am. I got to spend about 10 days in Ohio so far with my family. My sister put me to work in her yard.
Oh, yeah? Down at Dayton? The Dayton area? Springfield, right.
Yeah. So I lost about 10 pounds shoveling dirt all around all week.
But you look good, heavy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Well, that's good. And you were the pitching coach this year for AA, right, in the Colorado Rockies organization. You just told us didn't have a home all summer long because they didn't have their stadium built in time.
Yeah, we were supposed to. It was supposed to be ready May 15th. They built a new stadium in Hartford, and May 15th rolled around. It's not ready. We'll give us another month. Another month rolled around.
Wow.
Not ready. Then it became a controversial political law thing. Whatever court issue with the city and the builder, and so
you were in a hotel all year long.
Hotel to bus to the field to the bus. Back we just never had a home field. We never had a home. We were on the road the whole year.
You ever see this, Burbs? It's strike 3, but your catcher doesn't come up with it. A lot of times you don't get that call.
No, you don't.
Even though it's a good pitch.
Kluber's laughing with his head turned, but I'll tell you what, it was a good slide.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny now, but when you don't get that pitch, it's like, well, and then inevitably it's a base hit or something.
What do you remember most about pitching in these situations as you're coming down the stretch, you're trying to earn a playoff berth, and manager says, okay, the ball's yours in the game, we need to win tonight?
We need to win. Well, one thing I remember is my manager never said that. I don't ever recall a manager saying that to me.
Was it ever implied, though?
You knew it. I mean, as an athlete, you know where you're at. You know where you're at in the standings. You know how much the game means, and you tend to put that pressure on yourself. But most managers just say, hey, treat it like any other game. Try not to put any more pressure on you and
low key it.
Yeah. Just because you're nervous enough. You know what's at stake.
But you pitch in this ballpark at playoff atmospheres. How much fun is it? I mean, that's the goal, right? That's your goal as a player.
It's a whole different world. When we made the playoffs in '98, and of course we came to the field. It was sold out every day anyway.
Right.
And but then the playoffs come around, and there's more electricity in the stadium, and of course every pitch, every little thing you do means something, and you're on the pins and needles even if you're not playing, and it's just a whole different atmosphere, and it's such a tremendous feeling and experience to go through.
Is there an advantage, Dave, to having playoff experience? We've seen teams win that didn't. We've seen teams win that had a lot of it. Is there an advantage one way or the other for having been through it before?
I believe there is. I mean, my first year with the Reds, when I got to go to the playoffs, some of those guys had been to the playoffs, and I hadn't. I didn't know what to expect, and most of the veteran guys said, hey, it's just another baseball game, treat it like that and you'll be fine. And I did, but you can't help but know, I can't make one little mistake, because you don't get a comeback tomorrow sometimes. There is no, hey, we can come get them tomorrow. It's a 3-game series, or 4, then we're going somewhere else to play another 4-game series on the road. No, this is it. You got to win.
I always heard people say you better enjoy it when you get there, the playoffs, because you may never get back again. You don't know, what your fate is. Do you not enjoy it when you're a rookie because you're looking at everything else and taking it too seriously, maybe?
I still enjoyed it. Just the experience, and it's not something that you get to do every day. And at the end of the day, you sit back and you're like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the World Series.
Oh, Corey Kluber strikes out Miguel Cabrera on 3 pitches. You don't see that every day. He's fan 4 in the first 3, and the Indians lead it 4-1. Burbs, thanks for stopping by as always.
You.
Great to see you. Dave Burba with us,
guys.
watching Corey Kluber carve him up here in the 3rd. that top of the third, Corey Kluber made 11 pitches, 9 strikes. And he set him down in a hurry.
Yeah, he came back, and that's the shutdown inning that you need after your offense came back and put you on the board. Gets that momentum back in your favor.
Low and away, ball 1. Mike Napoli lifted a towering fly ball to left his first time up. Justin Upton never saw it. It dropped on the warning track and carried him all the way up into the seats in left field under the home run porch for a ground rule double.
Yeah, we thought it was like a sacrifice fly, and he was just sitting there waiting for it to come down, but it really landed, I'd say, 20 feet behind him.
Yeah, he was nowhere near it. He truly never saw it. Foul back. But it was, you know, just at twilight here. The sun was almost down, but usually when you see balls lost, it's because there's no clouds. There's plenty of cloud cover
and usually
tonight,
it's in the summertime at about 8:30 at night. This was at 7:30, and I never realized, but we haven't seen it here in a long time. Good pitch.
Low and away.
Well, they've been hitting his fastball. He's throwing some slider, but right now he is throwing a lot of changeups.
And that's low. Ball 4. A walk for Napoli. He's had a bunch of those lately.
We're going to look at this sequence to Cabrera that Kluber just did on him in the inning, and this is going to be our Circle K strikeout. There's a slider, a cutter, and he jumps ahead 0-2 and comes back with the other slider. After first at bat, he got a fastball in, and that's 3 pitches, and you don't see that happen to that guy that often.
Whoa.
that says it all right there. Nobody has to say anything else when you see him say that.
Ranks right up there with Dennis Eckersley. Wow.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez.
Yeah. Jose Ramirez flied to right. His first time up.
This is what the Indians have been able to do in the first 2 innings, is bunch their hits. After the first guy gets on, they've been able to follow it up with a hit to go first and third.
And a strike to the outside edge. Now the 1-1 and a good breaking ball. Not a play. Jose Ramirez had his hit streak come to an end yesterday. He's had 3 double-digit game hit streaks this year.
What was it, 2 11s and I think a 14? It was up there. It might have been a little higher than that. I know he's had 2 11s.
I think it was a third tie for him. Checked on a ball that was high.
That's one pitch that you have to lay off right there. He's trying to get you to swing at that high pitch. They have a couple of them, but for the most part, they've been able to just spit on that pitch.
18. It was
18 games. Gotcha. No balk.
Balk on
and
Fulmer.
I'm telling you what, all 3 umpires called it at once.
You turn about piling on.
I didn't even see the third base, but I saw the home plate, the second base, first base, all called it at the same time. And I wouldn't be surprised if the third base umpire did it as well. I mean, it is plain to see. There you go. He's down. There you go. You start, he flinched, and he knew it. And so did everybody in the ballpark, really.
2-2. A little bit outside and a full count. Yeah, good luck trying to argue that one if you're a manager.
No,
you can't argue anyway at Balk, but I mean,
right.
You go out and try to argue that one. Everybody in the house saw it.
Well, everybody, and you don't think that everybody's watching the guy in the center of the diamond? That proves that they are right there.
Now the 3-2. Downstairs, almost hit him in the foot. Back-to-back walks to start the home half of the third. Time for an in-game update. Here's Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. Rays and Orioles are in action in Baltimore. Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound, and Tampa Bay would jump out to an early lead, second inning, up 2-0. They extended that when Richie Schaefer gets his first homer of the season. That one was a 2-run shot. Baltimore 2 back in the East, tied with Toronto for that top wild card spot. Rays lead it 4-2, bottom of the 4th.
Rays trying to play spoiler with Baltimore. We're tied with Toronto, 2 back.
That was a big win for Boston last night, and maybe I don't want to say it, a season ender, but it was a crushing loss for the Yankees last night. Dellin Betances couldn't close them out. All right, the 30-second clock has expired. Tim Timmons is putting no pressure on them to break it up. Finally, Rich Doobie heads back to the dugout, and the meeting adjourned. But you've got Coco Crisp coming up. Coco, the American League's best hitter with runners in scoring position, hitting .408. Now he is 0 for 1 because he grounded out with a runner at second base and 2 out in the first. But he's been exceptional in these situations on the year. He was asked about it when he first arrived in Cleveland after being traded over from Oakland, and he said, I don't know. He said, maybe I bear down on these at-bats more than the others. He said, but I shouldn't. That shouldn't ever be the way you approach the game as a baseball player. But, you know, it's one of those things. You've said it before. Sometimes you just get on a roll early and it carries you.
It's something inside of you. You know, when you get up there and you get a couple of hits with runners in scoring position, you just believe you're going to do it. It's not that your thought process is any different. It's a feeling inside, and maybe it just carries through. And sometimes it can last for a while. You know what? You don't want to remind them because they don't want to think about it.
Right. It's kind of like maybe a guy, Arch, that's hasn't really been a home run hitter, and all of a sudden he starts hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah, what are you doing differently? You know, and they get you thinking, and mentally, you know how mental this game is. It's a confidence game.
You don't want to think about it.
So when you get a few hits, it's like a pinch hitter. If he gets off to a good start during the year, you usually see him have a good year pinch hitting because he gets the confidence and he's not afraid to come up in that situation. Same thing with runners in scoring position. And you can see it the other way too. When you get off to a slow start, the worse you get, the harder you try to get a hit and the tougher it is sometimes.
Well, look at the patience he's shown here after Fulmer walked the first 2.
Yeah,
Coco saying, you got to throw a strike before I'm going to go fishing.
Absolutely, and that's the key. Patience when you have runners in scoring position, and just be yourself. Don't try and do too much. And Fulmer's just setting this inning up for the try.
And a strike called. It's 3-1.
A lot of times those pitchers, the pressure is on them, and if you help them out and they get their first out, something clicks and they go back, you know, and they feel good about themselves. Don't help them.
Right back up the middle, and Kinsler grabs it, goes to Ibar, and they turn the double play. Oh, Coco's beside himself down there after hitting into the twin killer Napoli to third.
Well, he made a quality pitch. It was a fastball, and it was down and away. Coco tried to pull that ball, and you can see the easy turn. Kinsler to Ibar, over to Cabrera, and that's exactly what Michael Fulmer was looking for. Now he feels good about himself, and now he's confident he can get out of this inning. Wilson up already in that Tiger pen. Brad Ausmus figured we can't fall behind anymore with Kluber on the mound. We got to shut him down now.
Yeah, swing and a miss by Tyler Naquin, who had a base hit his first time up. Out of play. Tyler trying to come up with a clutch hit with 2 outs. Indians have scored in each of the first 2 innings. Pom-poms handed out, red pom-poms handed out to the fans coming in tonight. The 0-2 is up and away. Could be a huge turning point here. 2 on, nobody out. Indians looked like they were about ready to blow it open, but the double play ball may have saved it for Fulmer.
Yeah, he dug himself a little hole in the inning, and he may get himself right back out of it.
Brad Ausmus knows his team is in one of those predicaments where they virtually got to win every game they play head-to-head with the Indians.
And not the way he wanted to start this series out, that's for sure. Falling behind early, as they have all year.
Down and in, full count.
Well, you said something earlier. K-Rod, Frankie Rodriguez, has not pitched against the Indians this year in 12 games.
Yeah.
That's almost unheard of. Well, and he has 42 saves.
I think they've only had the lead for six
a little over 6 innings. Yeah. But I'll tell you, that's unbelievable.
Well, this was an 0-2 count, and Naquin has battled himself all the way back into it. The payoff pitch and a foul back. It's either 0-2 or 1-2, but
it was 0-2.
Yeah, he was not in a favorable position, but he's done a nice job to be patient, work his way back in it. If he gets aboard, Abraham Almonte would be next. In the air to center. Back goes Maben. He's got room and makes the catch shy of the warning track to end the inning. Fulmer gets out of some serious trouble here in the third. 4-1 Cleveland. Fourth inning. Detroit will have the heart of the order due up. Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, Justin Upton, Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, and now we're joined by Paul Shuey, former Indians pitcher, and obviously a guy who knows what it's like to pitch in these kind of games down the stretch where you're trying to wrap things up, trying to get into the playoffs. Does this bring back special memories, especially to see the place filled?
Yeah, definitely. I've been back a couple times, and this is special when everybody's here and you can feel the excitement right and even around town.
Well, by the way, happy birthday too.
Thank you.
You thought you were going to sneak by without it, huh? 26 again. Good for you.
The cool thing is Casey, it's Casey's birthday, my 18-year-old now.
Okay.
So she was born the same day right down the road.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, I want to ask you, but when it gets to playoff time and bullpens, because bullpens now are so important to the ball club, what's it like out there when you're coming into innings and you get into games and you get into grinds and you could be used 2-3 days in a row, and pretty intense, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'd still say, I know for me, when you get in those situations and you can get an early outing to get your kind of nerves settled, once you're in that grind that you're talking about where you're going every other day, it's almost better.
Yeah.
You know what you're into, and then you're just kind of fighting with the rest of the guys and trying to win the games.
Right.
But that first outing, just to get the nerves out of the way, is huge.
It's almost like being a starter. You get out there, and once you get the first pitch and the first out, I feel much better. Yeah, it's over with. All the thinking's over with.
And it's not always that way for relievers.
No, it's not. Well, you got to come in with guys on base, man. It's let's go, instant strikes.
That's right. Do it now.
Yeah, no kidding.
And there may be, as you said, there might be a time where you don't go. You might not pitch for a day or two or longer, and all of a sudden, you can warm up in the bullpen and feel great. But how many pitchers said, "I had great stuff in the bullpen, but when I got out there on the mound, it all went away."
Yeah, and it happens. You know, a lot of the relievers, especially the ones that are good, figure out a way to deal with whatever they have each day. And but I mean, we had so many opportunities here that we knew we'd be in the playoffs.
Right.
So it was just, you always kind of, it was going to happen. So you didn't have to worry about getting there.
Yeah, I just think because, playoff baseball, your starters, if you can get them to 6 innings a lot of times, you know it's going to be a bullpen game. You get nowadays, how many times do they let their starter face a lineup 3 times, let alone 4 times?
Yeah.
And the playoff baseball is much more intense.
There's some horses here, though.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have some horses right now that can carry a game a little further.
Well, this guy right here is a horse, Corey Kluber. He's lights out. He's got a Cy Young in his closet, and he's got a chance for one this year, depending on how he can finish out. But from the All-Star break on, he's been on a nice little roll.
You can just see when he's got his release point out front, he's got some Nintendo stuff,
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Nintendo stuff.
Like RBI
there
baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's moving up. 921 career strikeouts, moving past Addy Joss, who pitched way back in the early 1900s.
Well,
Next
there'll
up,
be many more there'll be many more to come, that's for sure. Over 200 again this year.
2 ball, 2 strikeout. J.D. Martinez, the batter, and he's out looking. That's number 5 for Kluber. Take a look at this. It just got that movement. You give up on it, and then boom.
Little dart on the outside part of the plate.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you just move that little Nintendo stick when it's about halfway there, and you go, oh, my bad.
My bad. See you later. Well, you were a guy that always had stuff that, the splitter that you could throw to hitters. And I mean, it was here. The next thing you know, it drops out of sight and they swing and miss it. I mean, that was a pitch that was unhittable when you had a feel for it. And that's what it is, isn't it? A feel pitch.
It really is. And it's kind of like I call it more of a super sinker. And as the more years I played, the more I got to where I throw at first pitch a lot, whatever, because it's more democratic, right?
Yeah.
It gets to the outs quicker.
Well, that's beautiful.
And you didn't
3
need
pitches or less.
That's right. And you get the ground balls that you want. And we always had such, you got Omar, Robbie out there. I mean.
But you threw yours hard. We have a couple pitchers on this staff now, like Carrasco, like Salazar, but it's like a Vulcan grip. But theirs is a little bit slower. Theirs is like Salazar's like a Bugs Bunny changeup.
And my problem with that, I think it's harder in the elbow when you do that. And then the other thing is,
the harder you throw it, you mean?
Not the harder, but the more you split your fingers.
Okay.
My split really wasn't split that far. Mine was a 2-seam, really.
Yeah.
It was just split a little bit. And then I could spread it out as I needed. You know, so you can throw something that moves 6 inches, and then you can make it move a foot if you need it to.
Yeah, start them off with a little one and put them away with the big one.
Yeah, when you stuff it in there deep,
yeah,
I think you're asking for trouble. And it knuckles. It knuckles out.
Salazar has some elbow or some forearm issues. Maybe that could be a reason. Who knows?
And it's a tough pitch to read for us because it doesn't react like a traditional changeup. As you said, sometimes it'll
it's
tumble.
a slider. Sometimes it looks like it sinks.
It can look like a curveball.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens, I think, with him.
And the thing is, the really good hitters that you're going to run into here pick up the knuckling action and just say no. So then you have to throw it for strikes. And with mine, I could throw a split and I just chuck it down the middle as hard as I could. I didn't have to go figure things out.
Yeah.
I'm short relief anyway. So
yeah, you're not going to face it. You're going through the lineup one time, maybe 2 innings max.
It was scary to see a guy again if I had to do it.
Well, yeah, but you were always a reliever, though, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was your comfort zone right there, coming out of the bullpen. You never had to start. You know, it used to be if you weren't good enough to start, you were put in a bullpen. And I'm talking years ago.
Right.
But nowadays, guys come out and they blaze, and you're one of the first guys that has always been a reliever.
My personality fit that better because they made me pitch. I wanted to go play the outfield or do something different.
Yeah.
And be an everyday player, and they just wouldn't let me do it because I was throwing so hard. So it was one of those things you kind of get roped into it, and then
they don't know what they're missing, man.
Yeah.
You could have been out there driving in runs too.
I could have dribbled a bunch of these singles over there to right. Yeah.
Big pitch coming up here
count.
for Corey Kluber. 1 on, 1 out in a 3-2 count to Justin Upton, who homered his last time up. What does he dial up here? And foul right back
Oh my
at him.
goodness! It's about as close as we. You want to play outfield? Go get it.
That was too low. Too low.
Yeah, you want to play outfield? That thing had a little hair on it, man. That was coming after you.
Somebody had been missing a finger or two, and it was going to be me.
It wasn't me.
It was coming right.
It was this way. Give it to the young fellas.
Thank goodness it missed.
Well, Upton with a pretty good swing when you see it come straight back like that.
Well, another 3-2 offering from Kluber with Victor Martinez at first. And that's a little high, ball 4. So now you've got 2 on with only 1 out. Second walk issued by Corey, and Eric Ibar is coming up. Now, Shu, you talked about the split in particular being a feel pitch. So when you're a bullpen guy and you're coming out knowing it's going to be a short burst, maybe only a couple of batters, what do you do if you get out there and the feel's just not there for that pitch? How do you adjust on the fly? Or do you already know that coming out of the bullpen? You just don't have the split tonight.
A lot of things can happen from that little jog out from the bullpen. A lot. Now the biggest thing for me is, I had three good ones, so I felt like I could rely on my other pitches to kind of help get me through. And I like that situation, because I see a lot of guys, they go out there and they start struggling with one, and then they're married to it, so they gotta, and you just kind of go down with the ship kind of thing. But for me, I would use it maybe more just 0-2 if I didn't have a good feel for it or something like that. But most of the time I had a pretty good feel for that split because it was really just a fastball for me.
Right.
That I just made a little different move with my hand on and finished very out front. That's what I was talking about with Kluber. His release point when it's nice and far out there, I mean, you just can't pick up what the ball's going to do till too late.
He throws across his body a little bit, and he throws everything that same arm angle. So as a hitter, it's just tough to pick up.
You can't pick it up.
A pitch can come in, a pitch can go away, or it can go straight down, but it's from the same arm angle.
Yeah, and he's got such subtle mechanics,
Yeah.
that, you think there's not a lot of deception going on.
He's very robotic.
It's
right
just
there,
filthy.
same thing. Yeah. I mean, nice and nonchalant. Next thing you know, everything's coming at you.
Well, and that's deceptive in itself, right?
Yes, it is.
When it's nice and smooth, and you're sitting there, and then it's just on you.
It's on you. Exactly. Deception. That gets a lot of hitters. And that's what surprises me sometimes with pitchers nowadays. They don't go to the full windup anymore. You see a lot of guys abbreviate their windup because they can repeat their delivery.
Kluber's calling for it. Napoli says, get out of my way.
Kluber's an athlete.
They don't let the pitchers play, man. They really don't.
Hey, you know what? There's times where...
And that's not democratic, Paul.
There's some pitchers that are good athletes. There's no doubt. But you see, Kluber was going to make sure that ball was caught. Look at, he knows. He's ready to call for it, but Napoli comes in.
Well, Napoli's a big old boy, too.
Yeah, you don't want to run into him.
Get squashed all of a sudden, you know?
Well, the football season has started.
Paul, who was somebody you really liked to watch pitch during your era? Was there a guy you said, man, if I had that guy's slider or that guy's stuff? Anybody you in particular really enjoyed watching, or anybody that you maybe tried to emulate?
Emulate? I don't know about emulate. I know that I paid so much attention to the guys that I was playing with at the time. Did a lot of, you know, I came up kind of under Eric Plunk, so
yeah,
he taught me a lot about how to use the fastball, really. And then he had a breaking ball that he used. Steve Reed had a little slider, but I didn't throw it, you know. So he, Mike Jackson, a bunch of the guys. But what I saw was I watched them throw it, and they were either absolutely on with their stuff, or if they hung it, the slider goes a long way.
Yeah,
and
it sure does.
It was one of those things where it kind of reaffirmed me to stay in with the bigger curveball, because if I hang a curveball, you're not going to hit it. It's going to be head high. It may go over your helmet, something, you know, but I don't have to worry about it going, you know, 500 feet. So
that's always a good feeling, because they could hit him 500 feet. Those guys were big enough then.
And even the split, if I threw a split and it hung a little bit, seems like most time if it did go for a home run, it was like a limped out, you know, just over the fence kind of thing. They just didn't center on it a lot, you know. So I don't know, as far as guys go, the most jealous, you know, Mariano.
Yeah, you got it with that.
Really?
One pitch, and I mean, for how many years? I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Let me go figure out what I'm going to do.
It'll never be done like that again.
I think I'll throw that pitch over and over and over and over and over.
Year after year after year, and you know it's coming, and you still can't hit it. That's crazy. People don't understand.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the inning. Kluber gets out of a jam. The Tigers strand a pair, and Paul Shuey loves it. Thanks for stopping by. Great to see you as always.
No problem. Thank
Paul
you.
Shuey with us. Corey Kluber slicing and dicing. 4-1 Cleveland, middle of the fourth. Later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Big crowd here at Progressive Field. And before some of them even made it into their seats, the Indians jumped out to the early lead, scoring 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Looked like they were going to score more in the third, but a double play ball rescued Fulmer. And he comes back out here for the fourth, but already closing in on 70 pitches for the night. So far on the year, in the first 3 innings, the Indians have outscored Detroit 26-2.
Well, that's been their MO all year long, but so much more so against the Tigers. I mean, how many times have we talked about if they get the early lead, what their record is when they score first? It's phenomenal.
And you look at it, and this is what, game 13 between the two teams. So
right.
They're roughly up 2-0 every game after the first couple of innings.
And when you have decent pitching, that certainly helps. Give them the lead. They're 56 and 18 when they score first.
Called third, and that's the second strikeout for Fulmer. Almonte does not like the call, but we'll see.
Well, look at the pitch. That's a perfect pitch right on the outside edge at 95. That's the pitch you got Coco to ground into the double play right there. It's that had a little movement going away. It caught the outside corner, and if you hit it, it's going to be right on the ground. The located fastball.
Almonte and Pitch Tracker would beg to differ. And there's a breaking ball and a beauty over the outside edge. Roberto Perez laid down a sacrifice bunt his first time up, and that led to 2-run scoring, so he did his job. And as Andre told us right before that at bat, he's been feeling better at the plate. 2 down as he flies out to J.D. Martinez. And we go back to the top of the order.
Well, you can purchase your 2017 season tickets now, and you'll get priority access to all postseason games this year, plus 2017 opening day, team shop discounts, and much, much more. Visit Indians.com/postseason to get all the details.
Carlos Santana flied to deep center in the first. Maben was up against the wall and made the catch, and then drove into with a bouncing ball single through the hole on the right side of the infield in the second inning. Pops this one to left and up to the long run, but a routine play, and the Indians go 1-2-3. 4 complete. Indians 4, Tigers 1. Is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. Could go for some Locos Nachos right about now. 4-1, the Indians lead at 5th inning.
Hint, Andre, hint.
Andrew Romine leads it off, then Ian Kinsler and Cameron Maben. Corey Kluber has been very good so far. The only run, a home run by Justin Upton with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. You can see some of the midges have returned here tonight. Lifted to left, and back goes Coco Crisp, still going back just shy of the wall, and makes the catch for out number 1. Let's go see where Andre Knott is hanging out tonight.
All right, we're down with the heavyweight champion of MMA. You guys were watching last week. Stipe, what's up, man? How you doing? How's it feel to be the champ and still be at home?
Oh, it's amazing, man. It's just happy to be home, man. Just make Cleveland proud.
You've fought all over the country. What was it like stepping into the ring at home over at the Q last Saturday night?
That electricity and the crowd just shows how awesome Cleveland is.
All right, you look out there, you see the score of the game, you're getting to sit back here. Have you been able to pinch yourself? Because obviously you've had the tough road to become a champion. How cool is it to walk around Cleveland with that belt and let everybody yelling and screaming at you?
Listen, I'm just happy to make Cleveland proud, man. We have, we're a city of champions, and that's all I care about.
13 of your 16 victories have come with either a knockout. Well, where does this all come from? And did you always know that you could do this?
No, actually, I never, I never wanted to fight, and I just, helped the guy out, and I just never left the gym, and it's good. I hit people hard, and they fall, so it works out well.
Matt, that was the plan I wanted from you the entire time. You're close friends with Yan Gomes. Yan was able to make your fight last week, lost his voice, yelling and screaming for you. I know you're close with him. How tough is it to hear the news that he's going to be out the rest of the season with the injury?
We were texting back and forth. I was like, actually, the day before, or that night, the morning he was playing before he got hurt, I was like, dude, hit a home run for me. He actually hit a foul ball home run, and then he got hit, and he was like, but then I got hit by a pitch, and I was like, I was devastated. I felt like I got hurt because like that dude's just such a good dude and such a good ball player.
We'll let you go over with the play. We'll get one more question with him. It's Mike Napoli.
2 down.
Hey, you hit the home run the last time you had batting practice. Are you done with taking BP since that's how you finished everything off?
I might have to, man. I mean, listen, it was just, I think all the moon and stars lined up perfect to get that ball out. I mean, it was just a surreal feeling to hang out with the guys and just get to be with them. It was amazing.
Hey, Andre, tell him to come back. He could do it again. He's got a sweet swing.
The guys upstairs said you got a sweet swing. You can come back and do it. You know what I asked him? I go, man, you're the heavyweight champion of the world. Have you gone out and celebrated? And he said, I worked yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I love working. I like staying busy, keep myself out of trouble all the time, but tonight, kick a few back and just hang out with family and friends.
All right, we're going to let you do that. Last thing I asked him after last week's competition over at the Q, will we see more MMA fights in Cleveland?
That is for sure. They would definitely be back. They told me they would definitely be back. They said it was like one of the third loudest crowds they've ever seen.
Well, can't blame them. It was Cleveland. Stipe, we appreciate it, brother. Great stuff. We always appreciate taking the time out.
Well, thank you, if Stipe's going to stay out of trouble, he better get rid of you, Andre, because that's going to lead him.
We're about to start the trouble right now.
That's what I thought.
I'm throwing some back with him.
Well, the Tribe is going. So far, they lead it 4-1. And Jason Kipnis is going to lead off here in the home half of the 5th. Kipnis singled and scored in the first, flied out his last time up. That ball's inside. After the Indians scored in each of the first 2 and then had their first 2 aboard in the 3rd, Fulmer finally had himself a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Breezed right through.
Yeah, they had him on the ropes in that 3rd inning. He walked the first 2 guys of the inning. He fell behind Coco Crisp 3-0, but got the double play, and it just gave him a jolt, man. He came back and he's retired everybody since.
Missed outside, and it's 2-1.
They have their rotation set up for the next 2 series against the Indians. Brad Ausmus, we're going to see the same 3 that they're starting in this series, and we'll get 1 more, of course, because we have a 4-game series heading to Detroit on the final road trip of the year before we go to Kansas City.
Up and away, ball 4. So that is the 3rd walk issued by Fulmer. 2nd time he's led off an inning with a base on balls. And tomorrow, big day of baseball. First on Fox, Red Sox Yankees at 12:30. Then on FS1, our Indians take on the Tigers at 3:30. You can also see the action on Fox Sports Go. And the batter now is Francisco Lindor. And Lindor with a single, a stolen base, and a run scored in the first. Frankie, one of the top hitters in the American League, came in 5th behind Jose Altuve, Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, and Mike Trout. And it's interesting, Arch, I've heard all of those names, the names I just rattled off. I've heard a case for all of them for American League MVP. I have yet to see anyone talk about Lindor as a potential MVP candidate, but I mean, he's had a terrific year on a club that's looks like it's headed to the postseason.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? You probably won't hear his name. You know, it won't pop up with a lot of people the way they're talking. But when you have a chance to watch a young kid play like this every day, you realize how good he is at every aspect of the game.
And that's really the key, because, you know, he's closing in on 30 doubles. He's got 70 RBIs. He's going to probably finish with more than 15 homers. He's going to be among the top 5 probably in batting average. He'll be close to 20 steals, if not more than that. And he plays phenomenal defense at the most demanding position on the infield.
Yeah. People like the home run ball.
Now the 1-1 upstairs. For that matter, outside of Cleveland, we probably won't hear many people tout the name of Jose Ramirez. But if there's been a more valuable player here in Cleveland, I don't know.
Well, that's what it comes down to when you say valuable. Every team has a valuable player to it. But when you get the most valuable player award for the league, people, it's different. You should have an outstanding player of the year and a most valuable player of the year. And then you know what? You can pick and choose. And then I think it would be fair. But there's so much that goes into that.
Well, I don't know. I've never quite understood the argument that if you play on a team that doesn't make the playoffs or a last place team, then you can't be the most valuable player.
Yeah, well, that's not true. It should. I mean, there's been most valuable players that never won a division, you know, and that finished in 3rd, 4th place.
I don't know. To me, we're starting to get into semantics then.
Well, that's
the
what it
MVP
is.
really should be who's the best player. That's really what
that's
we're
what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
You're talking about most outstanding player and a most valuable player. And it's two different things. And for me, a pitcher should never be voted into the most valuable player.
It's not most valuable pitcher. It's most valuable
player. That's right. And you have a Cy Young for pitchers. You can't see a shortstop or a center fielder win Cy Young, can you?
Here's the 2-2. And a broken back grounder. Could be another double play ball.
Attaboy, Kip.
Kipnis did a great job,
Yes,
and he's
he did.
safe at second.
That's a great job of base running right there. Don't let him tag you. Sandy told him that before. He gave him a little spin. And I'll tell you what, Kinsler had to hurry up and throw it over to first base to retire Lindor. Great job of base running here by Jason Kipnis. Wasn't hit all that hard, so he stops. Beautiful. He made him commit. Kipnis does the spin and gets into second. Lovely. Good job.
He gave him the old dipsy do.
Yeah, he did.
And because Lindor was hustling, he forced Kinsler to have to make a quick decision.
That's the key to the whole play. You got to hustle out of the box, and you've got to read it early enough to stop where you don't run into being tagged. Good job of base running right there.
And now Mike Napoli, an RBI chance. Drove in 2 in the first, walked in the third. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
You know, Fulmer has walked 3. I don't want to miss this point either. You know, in his last 8 starts, he only had 6 walks. And he only had walked 1 in 6 of those 8. So today, maybe a little all over the place, or the patience of some Indians hitters. But
well, you can understand walking Napoli when he led off the third. He fall behind. He's not a guy you want to challenge. Jose Ramirez, you know, he's got good discipline too. He's a guy that doesn't chase a lot of bad balls.
He doesn't strike out. He fouls off a lot of pitches too.
Upstairs. 2-1.
But, you know, he's 88 pitches, 40 balls, and 48 strikes. So he's been working deep into some counts. He hasn't gotten a lot of early outs.
Napoli takes another strike, and it's 2-2. One thing about Mike, you know, he'll go up there a lot of time. He'll be looking first pitch, and when he gets it and puts it in play, he does a lot of damage to it.
He was looking breaking ball there. He wasn't looking in with a fastball.
But if he doesn't get after that first pitch, he's just not afraid to take a pitch, even if it's right down the middle, because he'll go deep in at bats. And he does that. High, deep.
Oh boy.
Party at Napoli's. Out of the ballpark.
Not many players could get on a high hitter like Napoli did right there. Sometimes that's his kryptonite, but on this swing, that's good night.
6-1 Cleveland.
Watch, they wanted away, and that was letter high. Inside, right down the line. Number 34 for Nap, and that makes it a 6-1 ball game.
He has hit some moonshots this year. He's hit home runs near the top of the bleachers, and that one left the building. Chased one down and in. I think he hit it off of his leg.
Didn't he do that earlier, and the umpire gave him a little time to do that? He did. He fouled one off earlier. He needed some time.
Mike Napoli. 34 home runs. And now 98 runs batted in on the year.
Career highs for Nap. There's the breaking ball. And boy,
Shin. I mean, right off the shin.
And so it didn't hit any of that protection that he wears.
It might have hit the top of it or just above the pad.
Watch him get on top of this heater. Boom, and he has that uppercut. That's why he hit it so high. He just drops his bat, and he knew it. He just wanted to make sure it stayed fair.
Yeah, that was the only question.
Yeah, but it didn't have time to hook. He hit it pure. The party's at Naps tonight, folks.
It has been all season long. And Ramirez going to take another hack at it here.
Boy, has Napoli liked hitting in this ballpark. Hitting almost 300. That's his 22nd homer and his 67th RBI here.
That's to left. Upton on the move. 2 down. Here's our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Napoli's high fly ball. Upton never saw it. It landed on the track, went over the fence for a 2-run double. Upton got the Tigers on the board with a solo shot, and the Indians came right back with a 2-run single from Carlos Santana. And it stayed that way until the home run you just saw from Mike Napoli.
You know, and this has been another reoccurring thing in this series between the Indians and Tigers. The Indians, a lot of crooked numbers on the board. Like tonight, 3 2s.
Yeah.
You know, they don't stop with just the 1 run. They've had some big innings against the Tigers this year.
None bigger than the inning they had against Justin Verlander, where they torched him for 4 home runs.
Yeah, in an inning. Yes, sir.
Just inside. Verlander goes tomorrow against Carlos Carrasco. It's a 4 o'clock start, and again you'll see that game on FS1. The 1-1 pitch. Spun him out of the way. 2 balls in the strike.
Fulmer gets a lot of outs up in the strike zone, but tonight maybe a little wilder than normal out of the zone. There's a change up, and he's gone to that pitch quite often tonight.
Threw it by him, and that'll end the inning. 3rd strikeout for Fulmer. But Mike Napoli strikes again. What a year for Nap. And the Indians lead it 6-1. coverage of baseball. At the same age, Miguel Cabrera and Hank Aaron. Games played similar. Cabrera's actually played more. Miggy a few less hits, homers.
That's incredible.
More RBIs though.
How about being graded with that guy right there? I mean, on the same level, same age. That's impressive. And Hank is the all-time leader in RBIs. He's up there in runs scored, and this guy's right there with him. And we've had a good look at a lot of those hits.
Yes, unfortunately.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have seen a lot. The contributor.
Outside. Cabrera flied out in the first. He struck out in the third on 3 pitches, and then he mouthed the words, "Whoa!" Well, after a Kluber pitch just fooled him, and you don't see him fooled very often.
No, you do not. Kluber's been on his game again. He's had 8 outs on 3 pitches or less. He's had 8 0-2 1-2 counts. They've only been able to get 1 hit. That was the 0-2 home run by Upton that put him on the board. Other than that, he has been in command. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 12 swings and misses. Yes.
Wow, they said he didn't go. Okay. That's pretty surprising. I thought he went around, and even Cabrera.
Yeah,
he looked back and stuck his tongue out of the Indians' dugout.
He realizes, oh,
well, he might have held.
He's strong. Not many guys can do that. Look at he always points down there and asks. You got to be awfully strong to hold that swing up like that.
And a foul back.
Send along some birthday wishes. Mary Beck of Painesville is 91. Lester Wolf of Elyria is turning 90. Elmer Layton of Greene is 95. And Mike Southard of McConnersville, Ohio, a 30-year veteran in the Army. Happy birthday to you all.
Pitch got away from him. That's ball 4.
I was going to say, that's ball 4.
So leadoff walk and third walk of the night issued by Kluber. Victor Martinez 1 for 2 on the night. The drink rails packed.
Yes, sir.
Just about every seat in the house is spoken for. The ones that you see there that are empty, these folks are out walking around and enjoying the night.
They're in line getting something to drink or eat.
And a strike to the outside edge.
Well, a good guy to get a double play with if you can get him to hit it on the ground at one of your fielders. Because this guy hits. He never gets a leg hit.
That's true. You know, hit him on the leg.
Yeah, it did.
So Kluber set the inning up for Detroit. They've got 2 on, nobody out. On a walk and a hit batter.
Don't know where it got. It looked like a cut fastball from Kluber. Oh, right off the knee, I think. Right off the knee. He tried to get out of the way.
No, the good news in that situation is that he wasn't stuck in a situation where his knee was locked and he got hit, because that could have made it a whole lot worse for Victor Martinez. This is a guy who's had, unfortunately, he's dealt with a lot of knee problems.
Knee surgeries, no question.
Mostly it's been the other knee, though. It's the left knee that has given him the most trouble. He had surgery on that left knee a couple of times. Underwent that microfracture procedure. It's No walk in the park, that's for sure. Here's J.D. Martinez now, 2 on, nobody out in the 6th. Out of play to the right. J.D. grounded out in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th.
You can see mid-September the midges are still out and about.
Goes the other way and it's foul. Yeah, I don't know if the scoreboard thermometer is correct or not. It was 75 at game time, at least that's what they told us, and it's currently 78 according to the scoreboard. So the temperature has gone up.
Well, you can see he likes that ball middle of the plate, and one of them he can go down. But those are ones you don't want to miss. But when you see that red mark and you see the batting average, those could be long balls. You know, when you make a mistake there in the middle of the plate. He's one that could juice you.
3rd straight season he's hit 20 home runs. And the 0-2 hit pretty well. Deep center in the right center. Naquin makes the catch. Tagging at 2nd and going to 3rd is Miguel Cabrera. Victor Martinez holds at 1st, 1 away. And it'll bring up Justin Upton. And it was Upton who accounted for the Tigers' only run tonight with a home run on an 0-2 pitch back in the 2nd inning. Last time up, Kluber walked him. Probably doesn't want to walk him here and load the bases.
Well, this guy, he's been on fire. He got off to such a slow start with Detroit this year. You know, and when he took off, Brad Ausmus gave him 3 days off to just take off, don't think about anything. He didn't play, and he came back and has certainly responded since that point. He has been on fire, and the ball has been jumping off his bat. When he gets going, he can hit him. That shot he hit out to right center on the 0-2 pitch was a line drive.
And a strike called to even the count.
That looked like he caught a break there. That looked like it was up and away, but it was called a strike. See what you think. Yeah, he caught a break.
Deep center, and that is gone. And Upton does it again. A 3-run homer, and we got a ball game again. It's 6-4.
I'll tell you, this guy he's been incredible. And it hasn't taken long for both those balls to get out of the ballpark. So a 3-pointer.
Well, he doesn't have that big, long, home run type swing. It's just a short. But I mean, he hit some vicious line drives off the bat, though.
You look at the 2 pitches, though, that he hit out, and Kluber has left them both middle of the plate. We showed you a hot zone with J.D. Martinez. Well, his hot zone, you watch, they were both middle. This one and the other one he hit out on an 0-2 pitch. So he made 2 mistakes and was paid both times. He did it to the wrong hitter.
And now a little jam job to 2nd. 2 down. You know, it's funny, you see a lot of home run hitters like Napoli, when they swing, that bat goes all the way through and around the middle of their back. Upton, he takes such a short swing, he almost doesn't follow through. It's just a
That's how strong.
Abbreviated follow through.
That's strength right there. Well, it gives them life.
Sure it does.
They're right back into this thing now. It's 6-4 here in the top half of the 6th. It was the walk and the hit batter that set up the inning.
And after a miserable start to the year, Justin Upton sitting there with 74 RBIs and 24 home runs. McCann, a big swing and a miss. And we're only in the 6th inning. The question for Detroit will be how much further Fulmer can go in this game. But the Tigers answer. The Indians got the 2-run homer from Napoli in the bottom of the 5th, and it looked like maybe it was curtains, but they come back and answer with 3 here in the top of the 6th. And a fly ball left center. Naquin makes the catch, and the inning is over. But Justin Upton twice tonight has gone deep for Detroit. He's accounted for all 4 runs.
Appreciation night as the Indians will take on the Chicago White Sox. It'll be $1 dogs. You can grab a 2017 schedule poster and watch post game thing with the fireworks, mind you. Visit Indians.com for your tickets. Last homestand of the year, winding down, and not much regular season baseball left here. Let's hope the weather stays as it has been all summer long.
Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Detroit goes to Shane Green. Michael Fulmer started. He went 5, allowed 6 runs on 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 3. Green, an ERA of 5.43, making his 45th appearance of the year. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here: Naquin, Almonte, and Perez. And he fouls it off. Naquin singled and scored back in that second inning, and then flied out to end the third. Batting average coming in over right at 300. He's bumped it up to 301 with that single.
Remember, Shane Green started a game against us in Detroit this year, Matt. He had to come out of that ball game. He had a blister on his hand. There was blood all over the baseball earlier in the year. Oh boy.
Base hit to start the sixth inning for Naquin. There's blood in the water and there's blood on the baseball. Might have ourselves a new title song.
Well, it stayed up, and he slowed it down for him. He didn't try to power it past him, and Naquin got enough of it to bloop it over the head of the shortstop, so he will get it started again. His second hit of the night, started off the second inning with a single. Straight up here for Almonte. Green looking for the ground ball. I'm gonna look at his move, possibly play a little hit and run game here as well. Try and create a hole. Look at Romine over at third base. It looks like he's looking for a bunt down there.
Oh, he sure is.
You know?
That's the same position he was in when Roberto Perez bunted in the second inning. But what made that play goofy is that when Perez bunted, his first reaction was to come in a couple of steps.
Yeah.
And then when he retreated to the bag, he did it with his back to the catcher. McCann couldn't throw it to him because he wasn't looking at him.
That played out big because
Huge.
they came in to score. Yeah, that was a big turning point in that second inning. Wasn't looking. McCann didn't feel comfortable throwing it to him, although he had time. They felt they had to get it out.
It's one thing in football for a quarterback to throw before a receiver has turned his head around. A little bit different in baseball.
Yeah, you want to make a little eye contact.
Because if you look up and see the ball coming and you don't pick it up right away, you could take one off the coconut.
Yeah, no quarterbacks on the field here. You're not looking. I ain't throwing.
Yeah. The 0-1.
Take a good look at it now. Just watch. Romine turned his back. He still didn't have it back, and McCann just did not feel comfortable throwing it. Although he may have had time if he waited, just hesitated a second, but that's hard to do.
Right. Yeah. When you're in the middle of it, you're ready to throw.
There was a situation, the same thing happened when Kipnis and Napoli at first base, except the ball wasn't hit as hard. You know, McCann had to make a little quicker decision than what Kipnis had to. Kipnis could wait one more beat, you know, to let Napoli get the first base.
And I don't know if it's a difference, Arch, but for Kip, that throw, he doesn't have to throw it as hard as he can to get it to second. Whereas that throw to third, you've got to throw it hard. You've got to get it there with all your might. And so Kip could maybe take it just an extra beat to let Nap get there.
That one little extra second, split second. Your mind travels awfully fast once the ball's put in play.
The 1-2. Almonte yanks it to deep right field off the base of the wall. Coming around third, flying is Nate when he gets the stop sign, and he'll hold there. Second and third, nobody out. Almonte almost drove it out of here, but he set up the Indians to come right back here in the sixth.
He got a ball down and into his liking and able to pull the ball. Not so sure Green wanted to put it there, but watch, it's a curveball. coming down and in, and it just got too much of the plate. He didn't get it in enough, I don't think. He didn't get all of it, but it short hops the wall, and Mike Sarbaugh had to hold up Naquin because he couldn't get off and run it. Now that he's sure nobody out, you can't get thrown out at home plate. You just have to be cautious. Second and third, nobody out, the inning set up right now for them to do some damage. I want to see how Detroit's going to play their infield here. With nobody out, they will play it back.
Tribe up 2.
We've seen it in the past where some teams will come in and try and cut off the run, even though there is nobody out. They're going to give them the run if it's a ground ball to short or second, and then they'll bring the infield in if they can get one out.
Oh, that was almost fair, just barely wide of the bag at first. They say it's a game of inches, and this might prove it.
Well, that hit by Almonte, by the way, was their 5th 2-strike hit tonight, 5 for 11. They've also walked a couple times.
The 0-1.
Boy, a big response inning here. Come right back. Again, Detroit answered, you know, in the top of the 6th after Cleveland took a 6-1 lead.
In the air.
That's going to
dropping. And it will get. No, he makes the catch, and it's going to be a double play. No, they throw it away. A debacle for Detroit. The Indians get a run. Almonte gets to 3rd with only 1 out. And it's now a 7-4 Cleveland lead.
That was initially a base running mistake by Naquin because he was off the bag. Should Maben catch the ball. And then what he did, he tagged up and started running, and then he saw Maben throw it, and he makes a terrible throw. So he's decoying him. He gets to it, makes a nice play. Oh, he bobbled it. And that's why the throw was way offline. Then Naquin tagged up and was going to come in. It's going to be interesting to see if they give him a sac fly on that.
Well, Almonte was dead to rights if Maben just pops up and makes it an easy throw. But he yanked it across his body.
Well, he made a long running catch. Watch Nathan. He's going back. Get on the bag.
He was on the bag, though.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, and then he came off.
He came off. And yes, that was the mistake, but he was still going to come in, and then the bad throw. So that'll be a sacrifice fly and an error. And
Almonte was just in no man's land. So give Perez a sac fly and an RBI. And Almonte to 3rd on the error. Down and in.
Well, the Indians, that's a nice break for them there.
Now that infield in now. Santana looking to drive one home. He's already driven in 2. And that's out of play. So watch Naquin, because he goes back to the bag initially, but he never tagged, and then he went back. That is a weird.
He never thought he caught the ball. You got to stay on the bag because there's nobody out. And even if he catches the ball and you don't tag, but you got to go. You know, you go halfway, and if he comes up, makes a throw, you can stop and go back, but you have to stay on the bag. The ball's in the air.
Yeah, when I first looked at that, I thought he was on the bag. I didn't realize he was 2 feet short of it, which is weird. Why go back and stop short? If you're going to go back,
get on the
bag. Yeah.
Right.
All's well that ends well. Tyler gets home with the run. But it was a weird developing play, too. At first, it looked like Maben had no shot of getting there. And then he went into a slide, made a nice catch, and then botched the throw to second.
It came out of his glove funky. where he couldn't get a grip on it, and that's why he threw it away.
The 1-2, and Santana strikes out. 2 down.
Looks like he swung at a ball there, up and away.
Yep. First strikeout for Shane Green. And that will leave it up to Jason Kipnis to try to get that run home from third. Kipnis has singled, walked, and scored twice, and he's not happy with Tim Timmons' strike zone. Tim Timmons has been rather liberal with the strike zone tonight.
Yes, he has. Well, it's more of a pitcher strike zone, but there's still 11 runs in the game.
Yeah.
You know,
isn't that something?
There you go.
Two count. It's way up high. Shane Green with a 1-2. Kipnis fouls it back, stays alive.
Indians in the first, the second, and the fifth put 2 runs on the board. They had an opportunity here, but it was going to take a 2-out knock from Kip to give them their second run.
A bit outside.
For Detroit pitching tonight, most of it Michael Fulmer. 5 out of the 6 innings, they've had to throw 20 or more pitches to get out of the inning.
The 2-2, and that's low. Full count. It's a testament to how this team can grind out at bats. If you nibble, if you're one of those guys, they're going to grind you to a nub. Now, Green has thrown 15 out of 21 pitches for strikes. And the 3-2 is hit in the hole, but it's cut off by Romine. And he'll throw him out to end the inning. Indians get a run back. We'll go to the 7th. It's now Cleveland 7, Detroit 4. Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Seventh inning. And the Indians ahead 7-4. Andrew Romine to lead off for Detroit. He is 0 for 2. And the pitch is outside for ball 1. One ball, one strike. Action in the Cleveland bullpen as Kluber closes in on 90 pitches for the night, but he'll also be facing the Tigers lineup for the 4th time through. Now that Romine is doubled, we turn it back over to the top of the order.
I'll tell you what,
Tigers are starting to zero in a little bit here.
Well, it was a great approach. Romine just going to stay on it. He hit a high fly ball to the left on his last out, but again, that ball gets quite a bit of the plate and it's elevated. So he's able to take it the other way. It's only the 5th hit. And 3 of those 5 hits, extra base hits, the 2 home runs by Upton and now the double by Romine. So Detroit trying to come back and respond again.
Ian Kinsler 0 for 3 has struck out twice. Swings and fouls it out of play to the right. Kinsler out of the leadoff spot with 26 homers, 78 driven in, 26 doubles. Ground ball to Kipnis. Kinsler retired, 1 away. Romine moves to 3rd. Player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Since the All-Star break, these 2 former Cy Young Award winners have really been the guys to lead their respective rotations. Now, when Corey Kluber won the Cy Young 2 years ago, he finished with 18 wins, but he had to win his last 5 starts to do that. If he wins his last 5 starts this year, he'll be at 20 wins on the year, and if he does that, it's a good chance he's going to be right there in the top 5 in ERA, top 5 in strikeouts.
Oh yeah, so he will be there.
He'll have the credentials to be in the conversation without a doubt. But
you know what?
Got a long way to go.
The personal accomplishments right now, they're looking for one game, and this is the way he thinks. I'm looking for today. We got to win today, and don't worry about it. And basically, that's how he's programmed. What comes after the year, they want to get to the playoffs and move on and keep winning. You look at it when it's all said and done. Now he's got a chance for a punch out.
Andrew Miller in the bullpen, they're ready if needed. Kluber with 1 out, trying to take care of his own work. Miguel Cabrera waits on deck. And the 2-strike pitch. Swung out and missed. He struck him out with high heat.
Yes, he did.
Number 7 for Kluber.
You know, he went, look, it's away too. Perez wanted it away. That ball had some run going in. Got under it a little bit. It was elevated, but he got a piece of it, fouls it off into the glove. Strikeout number 7. Now it's 2 outs and a chance to get out of the inning and hold them at bay.
This is what keeps managers up at night. Well, these decisions right here. You've got a man on, Miguel Cabrera to the plate. If he if he takes you out, it's still a 1-run lead. If you put him on, then you bring the tying run to the plate. So the decision.
Well, and he's facing him for the 4th time tonight.
Walked him his last time up. First time up, fly to center, struck him out in the 3rd on 3 pitches. But the law of averages generally favor a guy like Cabrera the more times he sees a pitcher.
He's such a good hitter. You know, you've got to change your approach every single time. The last time he walked him, he had him to 2 strikes, and Kluber wanted to go inside. He just missed with the pitch because he thought Cabrera was, you know, looking away with the 3-2 slider, which I agree. But this guy, he's got a hot zone. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, no matter where you throw it, but you can see up in the strike zone. Well, he could also hit those out if you don't get him up there. And it's 2-0 here, so I think Kluber's going to be very careful. Very careful.
Yeah, he's not going to give him anything to hit. He's going to take his chances against Victor Martinez.
But he won't be in there to face Victor, I wouldn't think, because that's the tying run.
Cabrera being attacked by the midges.
Well, he doesn't want anything in his eyes right now. 3-0 count. And I don't know if Kluber's going to throw him a fastball. Cabrera's got one thing in mind.
He did throw him a strike, though. A little cutter over the outside.
It wasn't going to be a fastball there, and it looked like he was taken all the way, but he read it was going to be a breaking ball. When you get a hitter this good, he's got in his mind, because he's sitting ahead in the count, he knows what he's looking for. What pitch, and he can shoot you out to right field if you don't make a quality pitch.
And he went fishing. He was greedy.
He was looking for that pitch away, but then he got it too aggressive. Wasn't patient enough.
Fans are going to get into it. They're going to rise up. Better than 30,000 here tonight. They would love to see Kluber put an exclamation point on his night's work. Will he challenge, or will he get Cabrera to go fish? The 3-2. And he fouled it off. He got a piece of it to stay alive.
He threw a nice 2-seamer that he just barely got a piece of.
This thing had some run to it. I don't think he threw it where he wanted to.
It didn't, but it was down in the zone. You know what I'm saying? He threw him a good.
And it was 95. That had some extra heat on it. Cabrera asking Tim Timmons, was it a strike? It sure looked like it was.
Yeah, it was.
And again the 3-2. Pop back foul out of play.
Look at Cabrera. He knew he got away with one. He's figuring, okay, I should have hit that one. Look at, you know, he's going to take a cut, and that's the one I was looking for. And sometimes they miss him. He was trying to shoot him to right center field. He just can't believe it. Yeah, that's the one he was looking for, and fouled it off. I like that little fastball in.
Took the sting out of his bat.
Yes, he did.
Popped him to right. Inning over.
Great
Kluber gets Cabrera. Stretch time in Cleveland. 7-4 Indians. college football. And then in the evening, oh baby, we got a big one. On Fox, the 3rd-ranked Buckeyes take on 14th-ranked Oklahoma at
where are they
7
playing
Eastern. You'll only see it on Fox. Ohio coaches lead both squads. Bob Stoops, of course, from Youngstown, and Urban Meyer from Ashtabula. They'll square off in a game with major implications for both programs. Buckeyes win, it puts them right there at the top. Oklahoma needs a win to get back in the conversation. Here it's Bruce Rondon for Detroit. He'll be facing 3, 4, and 5 for the Indians. Lindor, Napoli, and Ramirez. Francisco Lindor 1 for 3. Singled, scored in the first.
Rondon has been throwing the ball very well in his last 10 outings, covering 10 innings, 13 punch-outs. Hitters just 4 for 33. This is a guy that they had big plans for, had some issues. He just hasn't been the person that they thought he could be.
A lot of it has just simply been maturing and growing up, taking responsibility for your actions.
Right.
All the things that come with being a professional.
Totally agree.
I mean, when you get sent home, it's time to look in the mirror and say, okay, what do I need to do to get this turned around?
Especially when you know they're going to give you anything you need, any help that you need.
Lindor got on top of it, but he chucked it right at Upton, who makes the catch. 1 down. Well, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And Mike Napoli having himself a party all season long. 34 homers, 98 runs batted in now. That one left the yard altogether out onto the plaza.
You know, when you have a guy like Knapp and he can swing and miss, and swing through a lot of pitches, people get upset. But when he hits one like that, you love it. And he got on top of a high heater.
Swung on and missed. Boy, Knapp's been special this year, and he's another guy we've talked about so many on this team. His home numbers off the charts.
Oh gosh. What does he have? 22 homers now here at home.
Yep. Batting average 300 or better. I'm not sure what the updated numbers would say. He's 2 for 2 tonight. I think he's got to be close to 300. Well, Arch, I know it's a special night for you. It's a harvest moon.
Yes, indeed. Look at that shot. That's beautiful. We'll have Teen Wolf in the press box howling before the night's over.
Redbird says Knapp's updated average is 300 on the nose.
Well, it's been a great year for him here. And it's been like that all year long. Look at Half at 42 here in 2006. Boy, oh boy, you talk about a year at home, huh?
Well, that was
I
total.
gotcha.
That's slug foul. Yeah, oh, nice catch. That's why you bring that glove with you.
There you go. Tomey had 30 in 2002. I got you.
Yeah, there's the home runs. The top number just got total.
They tricked me.
Napoli in the hole 0-2.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think he missed his target a little bit, huh? The one guy who didn't see the humor in any of this was Napoli
himself.
Well,
look, they just want a high fastball and it slips out of his hand and gets away. He didn't know where it was going. That happens.
And then he comes with a breaking ball in the dirt. Napoli trying to keep his perfect night intact. Yanks it to left field, and he will keep it intact. He's 3 for 3, and he'll hold with a long one-out single.
Attaboy, Knapp. It's another line drive and played well by Upton out there. Knapp turned and made this decision to hold up. A couple of times we've seen him hit a ball that hard. He continues to run. They threw him out. Not this time. He's going to pick up the left fielder and say, okay, stop. There you go. Nice decision and a nice swing. That's 3 hits, 3 for 3 tonight. Single, double, and a homer.
Jose Ramirez 0 for 2. A lot of money raised for a very good cause this year. All born out of a simple fan bringing a sign to a game early in the season that read "Party at Napoli's." And it caught on, and the proceeds from the sale of the t-shirts went to a Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital, and
well over 120,000,
yeah,
right?
And Knapp was more than happy to write the check.
Yeah, the great thing, it started just like you say, nothing, you know, premeditated. You show up at a ball game, you go over, say hello, and next thing you know, that's a great story.
And so is this guy, Jose Ramirez. His story this year about as improbable as you'll find around the game of Major League Baseball. Napoli with a delayed run to second.
He balked.
And there is the balk call. Hold on, Knapp. You can get the base. Hold on, Knapp. Hold on.
Yeah, you get to second. Knapp wants to keep going. He thought he stole second. That was a balk call by the third base umpire here. That's the second balk tonight.
That happens when a runner takes off like that. Sometimes the pitcher panics and he makes a move.
Let's see if he steps off. Let's see how he steps off. Knapp was trying to time him. Did you see anything there?
I didn't see anything. Let's see. Hands are in the glove.
Right. Well, it looked like he stepped off okay to me.
It sure did.
I know it was a surprise. I heard someone say step off, and it looked like he did. But that's something you can't.
He can't flinch or move towards second before he steps off. Maybe that's what Pat Hilberg saw, the third base umpire.
That's a second balk tonight by a Detroit pitcher. Although this one I'm not so sure about. The other one was automatic because every umpire saw it.
Outside corner. The called strike. And the 2-1 on its way. Ramirez out of play to the left. And I was starting to say, though, as we were talking about stories, Jose Ramirez this year began as the guy that would be a utility man, play a little bit here, a little bit there. Juan Uribe was brought in to play third base. You kind of had an idea how the outfield was going to shake out. Then the Michael Brantley story took a turn that maybe we didn't see coming. And
took a turn for the worse, yeah.
The next thing you know, Jose Ramirez is playing a lot of the outfield, almost on a daily basis. And then the way he started hitting, Terry Francona just kept him in the lineup, just had to find a place for him to play.
He played his way into the lineup. He hit his way into the number 5 hole because he was their best clutch hitter and has been all year long with runners in scoring position. And now moves into third base after the All-Star break. They get rid of Juan Uribe, and he's been playing some outstanding defense there.
Life is truly odd sometimes, and a weird sense of irony in that Jose Ramirez followed Juan Uribe around, listened to him, really kind of was being mentored, tutored by him to a degree. But then he ends up playing so well, he takes Uribe's job.
Yeah, well, that's what he was here for, and it all worked out.
Now the 3-2. And a smash into right field. Napoli around third. He'll try to score it. He will. Jose Ramirez with another hit with a runner in scoring position.
Right on time, huh? Right on cue.
8-4 Indians.
He picked on a slider. Hits it under the glove of Cabrera in the hole. It was a slider inside. This guy is a good breaking ball hitter. And I'll tell you what, if you bounce it, he'll take it. You leave it up, he'll hit it.
And the balk really costly for Rondon. This crowd of better than 29,000 having a ball here tonight on a warm Friday evening in September. Throw down, nowhere close. Ramirez with a steal, and that's number 21 for him.
You know, he hasn't stolen a base in a long time. He had 20 and has had it for a while, so they'll get his 21st. He had a great jump. Rondon a little slow with the throw, and that's it. That was not a very good throw. So the Indians starting to put their running game intact against the Tigers.
2 stolen bases, 2 balks. A rare combination. And Coco Crisp looking for his first hit of the night, 0 for 3. So Bruce Rondon, who was really in a pretty good groove pitching out of the Tiger bullpen, but the Indians tagging for a run on a couple of hits and still only 1 out. He had not allowed a run in his last 10 outings, striking out 13 during that time. Runs on 11 hits for the Indians, 4 runs on 5 hits for Detroit. If not for Justin Upton, the Tigers might not have scored at all against Corey Kluber. Upton with a pair of home runs, accounting for all of Detroit's offense. The 1-1. Because remember, the 3-run homer he hit, those guys got on base because Corey walked the guy and hit a guy.
Right.
It's not like they hit him around the yard.
No, Upton's a guy. He has been hot. Talk about the Indians with 11 hits tonight. 7 of those 11 have come with 2 strikes. So back home, they feel comfortable. They're back at it again.
A bit outside, 3-1.
Right now, he's first run he's given up in his last 10 outings. He's settled in, but tonight he's struggling. They still have double barrel action out in that Tiger bullpen.
And a 3-1 on its way.
Good pitch. Down and away right at the knees. That's where you want to put it. Especially on a 3-1 pitch. Located beautifully. At 96.
Yeah, that I could see why Coco thought it was ball 4. It definitely looked to be low. And the payoff pitch.
Yep.
And he's out looking.
He knew it. He went down and away, 3-1. Inside, 3-2. Gets a strikeout.
2 down.
2 pretty good pitches right there.
Yeah. It's funny though, sometimes, you know, Coco twice tonight has been in really good hitting situations and he's got nothing to show for it. Doesn't always, you know, guarantee you're going to have a good at bat.
But as a pitcher, you have to make quality pitches to get hitters out, you know, when you're behind in the count. And I mean good pitches. And he made 2 very good pitches to get his out.
Wait.
And now think of what you can do when you get ahead of the hitter.
Am I hearing right? A hitter giving credit to a pitcher?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to.
Tyler Naquin chases one down and in for strike 1.
It's just that the hitters, they like it. And the hitters will get themselves out in counts where those maybe want to do too much. But when you're a pitcher and you come out and make 2 pitches like that, you're darn right. You earn it. Come back and get them. And that's done a lot.
Golf to center. Maben runs it down. The inning is over. The Indians score and lead it 8-4 as we go to the 8th. Telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Let's go downstairs to Andre Knott as we go to the 8th inning.
Well, some positive news is obviously happening here, but for the Akron Rubber Ducks, they are champions in the AA as they beat Trenton tonight 2-1. Rubber Ducks are champions. Now, I got to ask you guys something. You guys want to guess who started for Trenton tonight?
Nope.
Justice Sheffield. Remember that name?
Oh, yeah.
Went 4 innings, gave up 1 run. He was the loser. Think about that. He came up with the Indians. He loses in the championship games. Rubber Ducks are champions. Congratulations to Dave Wallace and his boys.
Great job,
congrats,
indeed.
Boys.
And Andre, congratulations to you. Your hometown, your city, has a championship trophy tonight.
I would bring up your hometown, but I love
no,
you
let's
more
not.
than
Let's not go there tonight. Still too soon, Andre. Too soon.
All right.
Hey, you guys know how I roll.
8-4, Indians lead it. Abraham Almonte takes over in left field.
Oh boy.
And Michael Martinez into the ball game over in right. I hope Coco Crispa's okay.
I think he is. I think he's just defensively out, just making a move.
Andrew Miller, after Corey Kluber went 7, facing Victor Martinez, and it's 3-0. And Victor draws a 4-pitch walk. Well, get ready for tomorrow night's big game with Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer. He'll preview the battle with Oklahoma on Game Time with Urban Meyer tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Ohio. Andrew Miller now facing J.D. Martinez. You know, it's funny. You think about how teams are built, and the Tigers really for a long time now have been a right-handed dominant lineup. They've had a couple of switch hitters, you know, Victor Martinez obviously, but really it seems like for the longest time they've been right-handed lineup, you know. And a guy like Andrew Miller in a series, like, where do you use him? Now, yeah, he's not a matchup left-hander, but there's not
I got to tell you, I think Detroit hits right-handers better than they hit left-handers, though.
Most right-handed hitters do, yeah, in some instances. The everyday players, put it that way. I think if you look at some of the Indian splits, you know, Mike Napoli, for example. Let's see. J.D. Martinez takes, that's a strike. Actually, Naps had a much better year, average-wise anyway, against lefties, but all of his home runs, maybe just because of the sheer number of at-bats, have come against righties.
Yeah, and left-handed starters this year. Detroit is 22-22 at the 500 mark. They're 10 over against the righties.
2-2. Gets him to swing and miss.
And their averages: 261 against lefties, 267 against righties.
Yeah, Rajay Davis is an example. Everyday, it was an everyday player for a long time, but his average is higher against right-handers than it is against lefties. Swing and a miss. Down goes J.D. Martinez. One away. Take a look at the 2 home runs hit by Justin Upton tonight and watch the pitch. Location.
Yeah, that's 0-2. That was not a good pitch, and he paid for it. But watch this one. Same spot.
And that one didn't sound like he clobbered it as much as the first one, but it still went to the big part of the yard and got out of here with ease.
Yeah, this guy's been swinging it very well for the Tigers, and he makes you pay if you make a mistake now, where earlier in the year he was going down with a lot of swings and misses, but he is locked in. So he has 2 homers, 4 ribbies. He's got him on the board tonight.
I know there's nobody on base, but I don't know how. Oh, there is actually. I forgot the Victor's down there at first. With Victor on base, it's kind of like there's nobody on base. Well, but that's a heck of a pick somehow by Roberto Perez right there. I don't know how he caught that thing. Looks like it's going to hit Upton in the foot. And the next thing you know, it's in Roberto's glove. And he straightens him up with a fastball, 2-1. And then he goes to the outside corner and just teases him with an off-speed pitch. Just barely cuts the corner.
Well, usually, you know, he can throw that slider. He throws it down and in, and that back foot, and he tries to get you to swing and miss. But he throws that one. That looks like it's in the other batter's box, and it comes in. That's how much movement it has on it.
And then a fastball fouled away.
Good swing there.
Even with a right-handed hitter up there, Mike Napoli he's like not even hardly paying attention to Victor Martinez because he knows he doesn't have to. He just has to dance within 10 feet of him. Victor was never a swift runner when he was in his heyday. After the knee injury, a long comeback, he's just,
well, that's the one thing about the Tigers. they don't run the bases well. They're not aggressive. They don't go first to third, second to home, or you worry about them stealing bases. They're just such good hitters. They hit the ball all over the place. They hit homers. You know, they can hit doubles. But they're, as far as speed goes as a team, not good.
Yeah, the Indians have stolen 61 more bases than Detroit coming into tonight on the year. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He got him. Boy, and he really tightened that slider up, and it was in there at 84 miles an hour as Miller gets his second strikeout of the night.
Well, count is full. He wasn't going to give in and give him that fastball. And you're right, that slider right there. This one was for a strike, though. He didn't try and throw it and get a swing. That one was a strike, even if he takes it. Still had him out in front.
And Eric Ibar looks at a strike. Down low, 1-1. Pulls that foul. And now Miller and the Indians 1 strike away from getting out of this inning and keeping the Indians ahead by 4. To first, Napoli with a backhander. He'll go to second for the inning-ending force. Middle of the 8th. 8-4 Cleveland. Sports Time Ohio still available. They're only $13. It includes your first drink. So grab your friends, come on down, catch the ball game from the drink rails on left. You can only get them online, Indians.com/district ticket. Big home stand. You got the Royals coming up, the White Sox. Come on, bring your friends on down and get a chance to maybe see the Indians clinch the division title right here at Progressive Field. Their magic number when the day began was 11. Any win in this series knocks it down by 2. So they hold on tonight. That magic number goes all the way down to 9.
Single digits. But still need 3 more outs.
And here in the bottom of the 8th, Abraham Almonte
Roberto Perez and Carlos Santana to face left-hander Joe Mantiply. Mantiply out of Danville, Virginia. Swing and a miss. Making his 5th appearance on the year.
Pitched to Erie for most of the year. Then got a call up to Toledo. He started out in Double-A, went to Triple-A, and he's ending his September in the big leagues.
Mantiply was a 27th round pick 3 years ago out of Virginia Tech. Grounded foul, third base side. That would mean he knows what a hokey is.
Yes, indeed.
Upstairs. And a full count. Was in the batter's box.
Yeah,
foul.
it did. It just almost stopped. I think he hit it into sand or right on the beach. Didn't move. That is the 9th full count for Detroit pitching. Watch this ball. Stay in the left-handed batter's box. I think hitting something into the sand at the beach.
Field's not tilted, that's for sure. Stayed right there. With Almonte taking a stroll to first, we send it down to Andre Knott.
Well, as we continue talking about this pennant race and the Detroit Tigers, someone asked Terry Francona before the game, does he think Detroit still has a run in him? And he goes, I thought they already kind of had it. Then I looked at this number before the game. The Tigers are 9-9 since August 27th. Their starting rotation, guys, is 0-8. Their bullpen, though, is 9-1 in that time. And after tonight's game, if everything stays the same way, they would become 0-9. So that starting rotation that got them back into this, maybe the part that has fallen out of the race as well.
But that also tells you, Andre, that they've got the kind of offense that if their starting pitchers keep them in the game,
true,
they can rally and win it, and the bullpen kind of mops up and takes all the accolades.
No, that's a great point, and I think that the extra runs the Indians have scored tonight play into that. What you have to do against this team. You can't just roll over after you get an early lead.
Right. You have to continue to add on, and that's what the Indians have done this year. They've scored early, but they've also kept adding on all season long. And we said before the game starts, you have to score about 5 to beat the Tigers at least. They have 8. It's 8-4. And the big stat you gave earlier, first 3 innings in the series between these two teams this year.
They outscored them 26-2.
There you have it.
So you get that early lead, and it enables maybe hitters to relax a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it lets your starting pitchers, they're not afraid to go out and make a mistake.
Rajai Davis just into the game, and the American League's stolen base leader by far. He has 37 steals, and Jose Altuve, along with Gerard Dyson and Eduardo Nunez, are the closest to him with 27.
And I'll tell you what, just from that move to first base, this guy should be easy to read if that's his A move. See, Rajai picks it up. You know, that's one thing. A kid starts in Double-A. That's the last thing that usually comes when you get to the big leagues is controlling the running game. And if he doesn't have a better move than that, I would expect to see Rajai take off.
And especially, Arch, if you're a relief pitcher, how many opportunities in minors are you going to get to work?
Right. Well, and I don't know if he has a slide step. We'll see. If he's got the slide step, he may be okay. See, Rajai was banking. Look at that. He gets the stolen base, and he's going to go to third anyway. How about that? Wow. That's how good he is.
Wow, wow, wow.
He guessed. He figured he wasn't going to throw over 3 times in a row. You can see the smile. And when you're picked, you continue to run. You force that first baseman to make a good throw, and he didn't do it.
Cabrera came inside, and he still didn't have a lane to throw, and he threw it right into his back, and the ball disappeared for whoever was trying to catch it.
Did you see him lean in?
And Kinsler could never saw the ball.
Because that's what you do as a base, so you run right into whoever's covering. He cut back in to the inside and got on the grass, and he blocked the throw. And he goes to third. A stolen base, error on Cabrera. Now he's on third base with nobody out.
By the way, that's the 3rd error for Detroit tonight, and they came in the top-rated defensive club in the American League.
It's also the 3rd stolen base for the Tribe.
They heard you. They said you weren't running against Detroit
They didn't
this
have
year.
to run against them this year. They did tonight.
Well, the Tigers have the infield in now with nobody out, and Roberto Perez trying to drive home Rajai, who didn't start this game. He only came in when Almonte walked to start the inning. But look what a spark he gives you off the bench. And I think while Terry Francona is a guy that always likes to talk about his team, likes to talk up his guy, I think he really likes the way this team's coming together and some of the pieces that he can use situationally like this. I think he's enjoying this.
Well, he's done it all year long. That's why this team is where they are, is because of Tito moving guys around the outfield. Think about it. As far as an everyday outfielder, he's masterminded getting Ramirez out there. Rajai Davis has been important. Chisenhall getting Naquin playing time. It's been 5-6 guys that he's been able to jockey around.
And then Almonte comes back halfway through the season, incorporating him back into the lineup and getting the best out of him.
And when you look at their production, they're right up there with anybody in baseball as far as the production. You wouldn't think so.
No.
Because there hasn't been anybody other than Ramirez when he's been playing all.
And they don't have the superstar name that that's so-and-so. They don't have that guy, and yet, as you said, from a production standpoint, they've been able to get the job
with
done.
home runs, with the driving in the runs. It's amazing. Look inside the numbers and figure it out.
Roberto Perez delivers. For Cleveland. That's his 2nd run batted in of the night. And as Andre told us at the outset, he's feeling much more comfortable at the plate and starting to look it.
Well, hits a pitch right there that was down in the zone. He ended up turning on that one. Infield in, it makes you a much better hitter. He put it in play. He gets the ribby.
Just to jump in quickly, you guys were talking about outfield ranks for the Indians, and this might surprise some people. I want to show how smart you really are. Right now, coming into the game, they were hitting 290 as an outfield. That's first in the American League, guys. They had 44 home runs, that's 12th, but with 211 RBI, that's second. 109 doubles is first. They only have 11 errors, which is 7th. And they're tied for 3rd with 32 assists. That is the Indians outfield in 2016.
Great numbers. Great, Andre, because I knew it was good, but they never get the credit for it.
Well, Carlos Santana with a nice piece of hitting, driving one through the right side of the infield as a left-handed hitter. And the Tribe's first 3 have reached safely here to start the inning.
Who would have thought collectively that could happen with the outfield that they put out there every day?
Andre could go right downtown here and win a lot of money.
Yes, he could. I'm glad he had the numbers backed up, man.
Well,
good job.
Again, it shows you that collectively they have all been able to get enough at bats to stay sharp and feel like they're a part of every game because Tito works them in and out of games.
That's why this is like a National League team. They're all getting playing time. And for the outfield, they haven't been worn out. Now the guys on the infield is a little different. He's got the everyday players at second, at short, now at third, and at first. The only other place is behind the plate where they needed help, and Gomes has been gone all year.
Great sight to see. Packed house. Folks are showing the love with the red shirts and red pom-poms tonight. Tom Bochenek wants to pile on with Andre's.
He usually does.
Stat parade. They have the most hits combined by any outfield in the major leagues, 117.
That's remarkable. Well, this is the way Terry wanted to start it. We got home. We didn't play very well. Lost 3 out of 4 in Chicago. So it's very important to come home, win that first game, and they've done that. Coming into this one, 29-19 in series openers.
Yeah.
So they got a chance to win their 30th opening day, and they played very well when they do. They go ahead and win a lot of series.
They still have 3 outs to get, but Detroit still has 3 outs to get before this inning's over, and the Indians might blow the lid off this one. They're up 5, but Kipnis at the dish. He has a hit, a walk, and has scored twice. And a lefty-lefty matchup here. He fouls it back.
This is one of those things that the Indians have done against the Tigers this year. They don't give away at bats, and it doesn't matter what the score is. They continue to try to apply the pressure and take advantage of every opportunity given.
And the 1-2. Another foul back.
Lindor becoming a good ball boy there on deck.
I could see Francisco at what's the place in New York where they play the U.S. Open? Flushing Meadow. I could see him there. You know, those guys are on the on the net and they run back, grab it, sprint back. The 1-2, nope. Turn to second, nothing doing there. Roberto Perez, if he steals, everybody will be shocked. Fitness with a fly ball. Hit it to deep right center. J.D. Martinez on the run. Can't get there. Over the fence, a ground rule double. A run will score to make it 10-4.
Well, he drove that ball to right field. Looked like it got on the track and bounced into the seats. J.D. Martinez, a long run. He wasn't going to get there. He stretched out. Kipnis gets his second hit. Drives in his first run tonight. They continue to keep the pressure on.
That's 14 hits now for Cleveland.
They're going to walk Lindor. Then they got to go to the bullpen because you got Napoli on deck. He's had a pretty darn good night already with 4 RBIs. He's 3 for 3, and he's a triple shy away from the cycle.
Yeah, they've got Mark Lowe, right-hander, up in the bullpen as Brad Ausmus consults Gene Lamont. There's ball 3. And there's ball 4. And here's Brad Ausmus. The bases are loaded with nobody out. The Indians lead at 10-4. Mark Lowe's coming on to face Mike Napoli, who's only 2 RBIs shy of 100 for the year. Chance to increase their lead to 7, knock their magic number down to 9. This is the way the playoff picture currently looks, with Boston leading the East. Texas running away now with the West, and the wild card picture still a bit muddled.
As you figure it will be going all the way. Seattle brought themselves back into the picture, though.
Mark Lowe, the new pitcher for Detroit, on for the 51st time this year. He'll face Mike Napoli. Napoli sitting on 98 runs batted in for the year. He's got the bases loaded, nobody out. He drives in a pair. He'll become one of only 6 players. I should say he'll become one of only 7. There are only 6 currently in the American League who've driven in 100 runs on the year. At least that's what the total was when the night began. Edwin Encarnacion, David Ortiz, Albert Pujols, Mookie Betts, Mark Trumbo, and Hanley Ramirez. Brian Dozier at 98, Adrian Beltre at 97, Jose Abreu 95 when the day began. And a bit outside, 1-1. Lowe ready with a 1-1. Low and away, 2 balls and a strike.
Tigers have spent a lot of time out in the field tonight with the offense that Cleveland has put on and displayed. 14 hits.
Pitch outside. Only one time, Rick, have the Indians gone in order.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's true.
And every other inning has been a struggle for the pitcher to get through it. So you're right. A lot of time at bat for Cleveland. They're loaded up. And this crowd going crazy now for Napoli.
They want to see more.
Lowe smartly didn't give in and throwing over the plate.
Yeah, he's been around too long. He's not going to throw Napoli a fastball. He throws a little slide piece there. And a pretty good location. And Napoli was trying to get the barrel head out front.
His thinking was
4.
I'd rather give up 1 than give up 4.
Let's see. I've already got 4 ready. Let me go for 4 more.
Does he have the guts to throw it again?
Sure he
will. He backed it up.
Absolutely.
Got away with it. And strikes him out looking.
Yeah, you knew at least I felt that he was going to throw it again.
But
he saw the swing.
Location.
Well, they didn't mean to back it up. But sometimes, you know, the old spinner or that cement mixer had a little backup. Napoli might have been looking away for that pitch. But that happens sometimes.
Joe Borowski got away with more of those than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But he also had the guts to throw it.
No doubt.
Jose Ramirez. And he hits one in the air. The left center Maben. He'll make the catch. Tagging coming home is Santana. Kipnis tagging. He goes to third. 11-4 Cleveland. Ramirez with his second RBI of the night. Loving it on the home run porch. Michael Martinez gets his first at bat of the night. And he pops it straight up. Is it playable? McCann back to the screen and hangs on to end the inning. Tribe gets 3 in the 8th. They lead it 11-4. Tigers last at bat coming up next.
As we enter the 9th inning, back over here at the corner, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski, and boy, Jensen, pitching was pretty good tonight, but how about the offense? 11 runs here through 8 innings.
Well, resiliency and response runs have been a theme for them at Progressive Field, and how about maintaining hold on the middle of this Detroit lineup? 1 for 9, Miguel Cabrera, Victor, and JD Martinez. Outstanding job all the way around.
Plenty to talk about on Indians Live coming up. Brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. That is straight ahead after the game here tonight for the 9th. Let's go back upstairs to the booth. Matt and Rick, take it away, fellas.
Yeah, this has really been one of those all-around team wins where everybody did their job. You know, the offense came out, scored early. Kluber was good. Yeah, he made a couple of bad pitches to Justin Upton, but that's going to happen. You know, the good news is he had the kind of offensive support where that didn't cost him.
Right. I just come back and say welcome home, fellas, because that's where they play their best baseball, and they're back in the division and finishing it out. It's something they've done all year long.
And once again, they're looking at 46 in a row. Winning, and they get Kluber 4 or more. You get them 11, you almost never lose.
Well,
of course, that's that's the thing about run support. It only counts when the pitcher's in the game, and when he left this game, it was still very much a ball game.
It was 6-4 or 7. But what I like of what the offense has done, they've scored in 6 of the 8 innings. They just continue to keep scoring, and that just demoralizes a team when you have a couple of chances. Detroit made an answer twice with Upton, but boy, the Indians kept scoring, and it just demoralizes you after a while.
Ah, book him, Dano. Otero gets the strikeout. McCann down swinging, 1 away. Recapping the keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. Well, they definitely kept Miguel Cabrera under close wraps. They walked him once. He came around to score. That was it.
How about you got to score to beat the Tigers? Unbelievable. 90-40 they have outscored them this year. What is it? 26-2 in the first 3 innings. Remarkable.
For years, we've watched the tables turn the other direction. But this season, the Indians have taken it to the Tigers from the first pitch of the season series. It started with a Victor Martinez leadoff homer against Justin Verlander back in Detroit. And it has led to this, a chance for the Indians to drop their magic number down to single digits. Stephen Moya getting a pinch hit opportunity here. This is a big dude. We saw him earlier in the year. And defensively, he looked like a work in progress. He had some troubles in right field, but he can swing the bat. Rick and I will be back with you Sunday afternoon for the series finale. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to FS1. Check your cable channel lineup where you can find Fox Sports 1. Aaron Goldsmith and C.J. Nitkowski will have the call for you tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Rick and I and Andre, Alan Jensen will have the day off. We'll be right back at it bright and early Sunday. And hopefully at that time we'll be talking about maybe a sweep. Swinging a foul back by Moya. It's Carrasco and Verlander tomorrow.
Another nice matchup.
Crowd of just over 29,000 rocking the red. They've been into it from the first pitch. The 2-2 swing and a miss, and the game is over, and the Indians knock the magic number down to 9. Their 85th win of the year is a blowout of the Tigers 11-4. Dan Otero with a perfect ninth. He strikes out a pair. Corey Kluber gets the win, and he's now 17-9 on the season. Michael Fulmer takes the loss. He's 10-7 for Detroit.
Yeah, Kluber now 3-0 against the Tigers this year, a team that was tough for him in the past. But dealing again, and you can't say enough about the offense jumping out early, letting them relax a little bit, and they just continued to score. They haven't stopped, so the beat goes on for the Indians against the Tigers in game 1 of this series anyway.
Indians played well defensively, did not commit an error. Detroit, on the other hand, the top ranked team defensively, coming in 3 errors for them. So 11-4 is the final. We'll be back with a final word right after this.